Chapter 1061. The medicine used to refine Qi Shen Dan was very special. Although it was a kind of fruit, it was rooted in its roots and its roots were very long. During the process of growing, it was very likely to have problems, which resulted in a lot of abandoned herbs. Every fruit was connected to a wrist-sized root, and the fruit was only the size of a child's fist, looking like a wrinkled apple. It was slightly red, giving off a faint trace of spirit energy. Zhang Yanqing quickly picked out 2 quality profoundie fruit and threw them into the furnace, beginning to refine them. Because these profoundie fruit were of the worst quality, when the 2 of them were combined, the medicine aura would be more complete. However, if they did not have some skill, it would be very difficult for a normal alchemist to fuse 2 together like this. This was not difficult at all for Chen Shang. Forget about combining 2, even if it was 10, he would still be able to obtain 100 portions easily, let alone 2. Profoundie fruits were the only main ingredient in refining the Qi Shen Dan. They were all piled up with a piece of tree root, and this root was not simple at all. As long as one was connected with the profoundie fruit, they could still absorb the spirit energy from the outside, preventing the profoundie fruit from dying quickly. What a waste, to actually throw away this cut root. This cut root is as important as the profoundie fruit. Su Meiyao used her divine sense and saw that when Zhang Yanqing was dealing with the medicinal herbs, he separated the profoundie fruit from the tree root and threw away the tree root. When Chen Shang picked up a piece of the tree root, he could clearly feel the strange spirit energy inside. It was indeed a very important thing, but the root was also very strange. It was actually as stiff as iron, and there were even many impurities inside. After the profoundie fruit tree absorbed a large amount of spirit energy, it would send the spirit energy into the roots of the tree, allowing them to grow. But when the roots grew very long, they would become as stiff as iron, and then give birth to profoundie fruits. Therefore, this piece of tree root contained a medicine aura as unique as the one inside the profoundie fruit. If you can melt this root and extract the impurities from it, this profoundie fruit's quality is just like normal, perfect. Su Meiyao said. This is not difficult for me. I have refined an entire sporite vein and refined countless mountains before. How difficult can this thing be? Chen Shang directly threw the piece of root and the profoundie fruit into the pill furnace. He had only dealt with a few parts of the trash that could be removed. Does he know how to forge pills? The profoundie fruit was actually thrown in at the same time. Was he refining a weapon or concocting pills? That piece is harder to smelt than iron. Quote, although there are quite a few medicine auras in that cut root, to refine this root to perfection is extremely difficult. Even though Zhang Yanqing possessed the heaven flame, he still did not do such a thing. Don't joke with me. If you guys were the one who threw this piece of tree root in, it might have exploded by now. Look at them, they are stable in all 4 directions. The fire's intensity fluctuates between big and small, and the fire's intensity changes quickly, but it's not chaotic. It's very regular. An old man stroked his long beard. There were a lot of people watching the competition at the entrance of Shiyi Pavilion. There were a lot of alchemists, but there were not many that could see through a bit, and as long as it was an alchemist with a high level of alchemy, they could see that Chen Zhang's foundation was extremely deep. Even Zhang Yanqing had no choice but to look at the person in front of him in a new light. According to the change in the fire force in Chen Zhang's furnace, a small portion of the alchemist knew that it was Chen Zhang's first time concocting this pill, and could also tell that Chen Shang had used the foreseeing alchemy to correct his mistakes multiple times. If it was let the other alchemists do the concocting, they would probably be flustered the first time, but Chen Shang did not. Lin Ziyi and Fan Yakan knew of Chen Zhang's abilities. They had all been defeated by Chen Shang in the field of pill concocting, and Chen Shang had taken first place among the sacred Dan realms back then. They now believed in Chen Shang very much and looked forward to the pleasant surprise that Chen Shang would bring them. The difficulty of the Qi Shen Dan's refining process was not very high, but if it was to be refined with that piece of tree root, it would be rather difficult. For Chen Shang, refining that piece of tree root was not difficult. What was difficult was that in terms of time, it was only for 1 day, and the other party was an extremely proficient genius who was able to refine this pill. Chen Shang guessed that Zhang Yanqing definitely had the experience of refining this kind of pill many times before, and that the alchemist who could turn this type of medicinal herb into a pill was very popular in any power. As expected, Zhang Yanqing very quickly finished refining a furnace. He had only refined 1 pellet, and the final result was to compare the number of pellets he had concocted, and after Chen Shang refined the root, he was confident that he could refine 2. The heavenly fire is powerful indeed, it is much stronger than my heaven fire. Although Chen Shang had his eyes closed, the situation inside Zhang Yanqing's pill furnace appeared in his mind. As a spirit cultivator, he could easily see through it with his strong divine power, not to mention that his opponent's pill furnace had one in an ordinary way. Not only were the materials hard to incinerate, even the medicine aura inside them were very barbaric. If there was a strong enough flame, those medicine aura would become much gentler under the appropriate strong flames. Having strong flames did not mean that one would burn it hard, but to control the heat of the flames according to the experience of the alchemist. If one did not suppress the medicine aura, it would lead to failure in concocting the pills. However, after your heaven fire evolved into a heaven flames, it will be close to the code. No matter how strong a fire of chaos is, they are still within the code. Su Meiyao said. Chen Shang was multitasking. As he refined his own set of Qi Shendan, he observed the situation inside Zhang Yanqing's pill furnace and learned from it how to refine pills. He learned a lot from this. His speed was extremely fast, causing many old alchemists who were watching to feel inferior. Many people guessed that Zhang Yanqing would only need half a day to refine all of the Qi Shendan's medicinal ingredients, and then, he would even be able to refine all of Chen Zhang's medicinal ingredients. Even so, Chen Shang was still very calm. He was not nervous at all. This state of mind was quite admirable, but many people did not look favorably on him. In a few moments, Zhang Yanqing had refined another furnace and his speed was even faster than before, causing many alchemists to exclaim in disbelief. Now, many people understood why Zhang Yanqing was called the future pill saint. Chapter 1062. That guy still has 520 profoundly fruit s. According to his current fastest speed, he should be able to refine 50 batches in 2 hours. He can refine 2 of them in a single pot. Long Shui said, but he can only produce 1 pill per furnace. Chen Shang was still refining his pills at a leisurely pace, not affected in the slightest by the other party's terrifying speed. This was because he was extremely confident in himself. As long as he was familiar with refining Qi Shendan, he would assimilate the methods inside the heavenly alchemy. Based on the current situation, even if Su Meiyao understood Chen Zhang's ability very well, she didn't know how he would win. However, she knew that Chen Shang would definitely use the heaven-defying method inside the heavenly alchemy. He has already made 10 batches, he hasn't even made a single batch. Looks like after he refines this furnace, he will finish refining his own ingredients before going back to refine his. It seems like he's definitely going to lose. He won't suffer much loss if he loses. At most, he'll only damage the reputation of the Shiyi Pavilion. With his current speed, he basically has no chance of winning, but why is he still so calm? Chen Shang had now linked his consciousness with the furnace and sealed off the connection to the outside world, making the furnace exist only in his mind. It was as if there was only him and the furnace in this world, because he had reached the most crucial moment. My heaven fire is definitely not weaker than the heavenly fire. Previously, when I was going through the 1000 refinements tribulation, I swallowed the fire seed condensed by the robbery power. The reason I am unable to unleash the power of the heaven fire right now is because in my heart, I am telling myself that after the heaven fire evolves, it will cause me a great deal of harm. Quote. Chen Shang already felt an inexplicable sense of restlessness. He told himself rationally that now was not the time to release the heaven fire, because once released, his heaven fire would very likely evolve into a sky fire. With his current strength, he simply could not suppress that kind of terrifying flame. The reason why he had such a thought was because he had seen Li Baojun's strong heaven flames. Now, he was even clearer on the convenient place for the genius pill refining competition to use the heaven flames, which made his heart crave for it. I myself am very clear that my current physical body cannot withstand the power of my heaven fire's evolution. I have already mastered Immortal Devil body, but I am still unable to withstand that flame. It could only mean that the fire was not as simple as the heaven flames. What kind of flame would that be? Quote. Chen Shang suppressed the impulse in his heart, and allowed himself to become rational. Otherwise, he would lose his mind from the desire in his heart, and make an irreparable mistake. The heaven fire is already very powerful, but I haven't made full use of them yet. Chen Shang unleashed his formidable divine power, allowing his divine power to drill into the insides of the medicinal herbs, allowing him to clearly see the structure of the herbs. After that, he brought the flames in and permeated through the fine parts of the herbs. This was the first time he had entered the interior of these medicinal herbs. Inside was a vast world, and this world was filled with many different colors, which was why it was emitting such a beautiful multicolored light. The world inside was full of vitality, which was why there was such a strange life force. After it was consumed by a person, it would produce other effects. Chen Shang now understood the meaning of flower and world. At this moment, he knew that even though he was burning the world inside these medicinal herbs, he wasn't destroying them, but rather allowing them to blossom in the brilliance and color of his beautiful internal world. In that instant, the profoundly fruit and the chunk of tree root, which were originally difficult to smelt, instantly turned into a ball of soft, dazzling light. Chen Shang never thought that he would actually have such a breakthrough. Furthermore, the reason why he refined the pellet was to destroy the medicinal ingredients, suppress them, tame the medicinal ingredients, and burn them all to become medicine auras. However, when he saw the inner world of these medicinal herbs, he wanted to make the inner world of these medicinal herbs disappear in the best way. It was beautiful and shocking, like a shooting star. He understood the world of these flowers and fruits, and inadvertently had a strange exchange with them, causing them to give up resisting, cooperating with his heaven fire, and melted into a colorful medicine aura. I didn't expect it to be wrong for so long. Chen Shang opened his eyes and took a deep breath. He had already withdrawn his spiritual will and flames. Seeing him like this, many people thought that he had failed and gave up. But at this moment, the medicine aura inside the pill furnace had already gradually fused with the medicinal powder, and quickly turned into a cyclone. Following Chen Zhang's will, the ball of air split into three, turned into 3 balls of air, and spun quickly. The most critical and difficult time of concocting the pill, he actually did nothing. However, many people were able to understand what he had done, and it actually caused the medicine aura in the pill furnace to gather its own consciousness, forming its own pill. Many alchemists had noticed that when Chen Shang had not completed the core formation stage, he had concealed all of his power and no longer used his flame and consciousness to control the pill furnace. Even Su Meiyao didn't know how Chen Shang did it. She guessed that it was a method from the heavenly alchemy, but it didn't seem like it. Chen Shang opened the lid of the pill furnace and green light shot out. It was as if a treasure was born, causing everyone to be dumbstruck. What was even more surprising was the 3 light green pills that floated out of the furnace. Unexpectedly, there were 3 Qi Shen Dan S formed, and their quality had reached its peak. The 3 Qi Shen Dan S had an extremely bizarre life force coiling around them, making people feel as if these 3 pellets were 3 little lifeforms, and that the aroma was like the spring breeze, gently spreading out in all directions, releasing a fragrance that would cause one's heart to tremble, showing just how high the quality of the 3 Qi Shen Dan S was. To be able to refine 3 pellets with the roots, it was still unbelievable because even if one used the most perfect and highest quality profoundly fruit to refine, they would only be able to push the price to the limit by 3 pellets. The 3 Qi Shen Dan in front of him were like treasures. There were already people who planned to buy these Qi Shen Dan at a high price after the competition ended. Hu Feixiao sat in the palanquin, watching until his eyes turned red. His heart was filled with jealousy. He could naturally see that this alchemist was not ordinary. He felt that this genius alchemist should either be roped in, or killed. Although he managed to refine more than 10 batches, he knew that if they were to compare their value, the over 10 Qi Shen Dan S he refined would be far inferior to Chen Shang. Furthermore, Chen Shang had only used 1 portion of the medicinal ingredients, but he had refined 10. Chapter 1063. In front of everyone's shocked eyes, Chen Shang calmly placed the 3 Qi Shen Dan S into an empty jade box, and then casually took out 10 of them from the pile of medicinal herbs. After adding some supplementary herbs, he actually stuffed these 10 portions into the pill furnace. Today he was going to refine 10 portions in one go, and he even had roots. That was equivalent to 10 pieces of black iron. How was he going to refine them? Many old alchemists were shocked. This kind of refining technique shocked the world, and many old alchemists suddenly felt that the person in front of them had a very familiar feeling. Lin Zai and Fan Yakan's memories of him were still fresh in their minds, and now that they could see Chen Zhang's godly skill again, they were even more surprised. Before, many people thought that Chen Shang would definitely lose, that he would definitely defeat Chen Shang with a very good result. But now, it was hard to say, because Chen Shang did not use common sense to refine pills when he was refining pills, and had completely broken through many of the iron rules set for when he was refining pills. After Chen Shang had comprehended that method just now, he was trying again. He did not even bother to process the herbs, and after placing it in the pill furnace, he released his divine power to explore the world inside the herbs. Before, when he used the heavenly alchemy to refine mountains, refine lands, and even spirite vein, these things were all extremely large in scale, allowing him to see the world of these things very directly. On the other hand, the heavenly alchemy could refine the world, and as long as he could see through some things, he could release flames. The heavenly alchemy was able to refine many large-scale objects, and all of them had been turned into intense flames by borrowing the spirit energy of the heaven and earth. And now, Chen Shang had already observed the insides of these medicinal ingredients. Within these strange and unique herbs, there was also a world. It was just that this world was not known to anyone. As long as he could establish a miraculous connection with these strange and unusual herbs, he could make these medicinal ingredients gentle and easily condense them into pills. Now he wanted to use the heavenly alchemy, just to get stronger flames, so that he could quickly burn these medicinal ingredients from the inside out. At this moment, many worlds appeared in Chen Zhang's mind, all of them being the worlds of those medicinal ingredients. They were similar to what he had seen before, and unknowingly, he had already guided the flames in and infiltrated them. However, their speed was not fast enough. What he needed to do now was to refine 10 batches of ingredients simultaneously in a single pill furnace. It was equivalent to refining 10 batches of pills in a single pill furnace. This was also the Dawen refining method in the heavenly alchemy, but in the past, he had released 10 magic method furnace S at the same time, and now he had released 10 magic method furnace S in one pill furnace. Of course, because the space inside was too cramped, it was very difficult to do it. He could only burn all 10 portions of herbs before splitting them into 30 cyclones. If this wasn't a competition, he could still condense these 10 sets of medicinal herbs into a pill, but that would require a lot of time. There's not enough fire. As expected, the profoundly fruit's roots are hard to melt. It's even more difficult than when I was refining mountains. Chen Shang thought, but he knew that the spirit chi contained in the mountains were limited, and had even dispersed, and could not compare to the profoundly fruit's roots. He had to refine many mountains, in order to condense a high-quality pill. Heaven's sacred city was on the 18th floor of the sacred Dan realm, which was very high. Furthermore, the immortal energy in the city was very dense. Chen Shang had never tried to turn the immortal energy into fire before. Using the method in the heavenly alchemy, he began to let the furnace absorb a large amount of immortal energy, fusing it with the heaven fire in the furnace and transforming it into a strong flame. At this time, everyone present could see a few streams of mist drilling into Chen Zhang's furnace, and the fire energy in Chen Zhang's furnace was getting stronger and stronger, comparable to Zhang Yanqing's, actually borrowing Immortal's chi to strengthen the flames. This method was something many alchemists looked forward to. Hu Feixiao gritted his teeth when he saw this. This alchemist with such talent was actually inside the Shiyi pavilion. At this moment, he was somewhat regretful that he allowed Zhang Yanqing to mess things up, because this would definitely affect Zhang Yanqing. Although he was extremely arrogant, he still knew his own limits. He had already refined 20 batches of Qi Shendan, and had successfully formed 20 Qi Shendan, but when the 20 Qi Shendan-s were added together, it felt like they were not even comparable to the 3 perfect Qi Shendan-s that Chen Shang had refined. Chen Shang was currently in a very good state, his entire body was completely clean. The herbs in the pill furnace were just like before. Suddenly they started burning. From the inside, they quickly dissolved into a gentle medicine aura and medicinal powder. After that the two of them intertwined, fused, and finally merged together, forming a very big ball of air. Chen Shang only thought about it carefully, and the ball of air automatically turned into 30 small balls. He had not tried condensing 30 pills in a single furnace before, because the current furnace did not have any special functions. If it was a Yanlong furnace, then there was a lot of space inside, and there was also time to speed up, but even if he did not use the Yanlong furnace, he could still make it this far. Everyone was dumbstruck, especially when Chen Shang retracted all of his energy. However, the activity inside the furnace was extremely intense, and many people had already guessed that Chen Shang was planning to refine 30 pills in one go. But now that Chen Shang had stopped, the interior of the pill furnace started to calm down. The speed at which he was refining one furnace was actually faster than Zhang Yanqing's. The lid of the pill furnace opened, and the green-colored light that gushed out was like a dragon emerging from the sea. It howled out and pierced through the clouds, dazzling everyone's eyes and making their souls tremble. Is he even human? Many people could not help but think that the person in front of them was an existence rumored to transcend the mortal world. Only the rare pill and holy level would have such earth-shattering power when refining pills. 30 pills. Everyone suddenly felt their bodies go soft. one furnace for 30 pills, the quality was exceptional, they had already threw Zhang Yanqing to the side. Zhang Yanqing had only used around 20 pills, and had even used 40 more sets of ingredients. At this time, everyone felt that there was no longer any need to compete anymore. The outcome of the battle had already been decided, especially Zhang Yanqing's current state, which had a great impact on him. Hu Feixiao gritted his teeth and clenched his fists. He wanted to kill this genius alchemist right now, because he knew it would be very difficult to win him over. Zhang Yanqing took a deep breath. At this time, he had also condensed a pill, and a qi shendan with a quality not inferior to Chen Zhang's appeared in the pill furnace. This made him immediately feel confident. Chen Shang closed his eyes. He did not immediately refine any pellets, but looked like he was recovering his qi. This made Zhang Yanqing and Hu Feixiao extremely happy. They thought that Chen Shang had to rest because he had exhausted himself. Many people felt the same way, but was that really the case? Chapter 1064. Before Chen Shang recovered, he used up a lot of energy because he was prepared to refine even more in one go, and even if he succeeded, he would need some time to digest the huge gains he had just made. This was a type of breakthrough in cultivation, and only through luck and coincidence could raise his cultivation through comprehension. Seeing Chen Shang not making a move for a long time, Zhang Yanqing and Hu Feixiao started to mock him in their hearts. And relying on the fact that Zhang Yanqing had the heaven flames and his talent in alchemy, the quality of the pills refined within each furnace was extremely high. This was also because of the pressure that Chen Shang had given him earlier, which was why he had no choice but to improve. But he still needed 2 sets of ingredients to concoct a single pill, and he could not refine all of the roots like Chen Shang did. Many people understood that Chen Shang had already grasped the trick to refining the roots. In the blink of an eye, more than 4 hours had passed but Chen Shang still remained motionless. He closed his eyes and meditated, while Zhang Yanqing had already refined more than 130 qi shendan in 100 batches. Just in that short amount of time, he was able to turn these abandoned medicinal herbs into so many qi shendan. This made many people understand more deeply how terrifying a terrifying thing was for a power to possess such a genius alchemist. Just when Zhang Yanqing and Hu Feixiao were extremely calm and collected, Chen Shang finally made his move. He actually took out 20 profoundly fruits with roots, but the pill furnace definitely could not hold that many, causing everyone to open their eyes wide and look carefully, wanting to see what exactly he was going to do. However, Chen Shang had only placed 10 into the cauldron, while leaving the other 10 outside. However, he had not sealed the lid, he had actually wanted to open it to concoct the pill. If not for the fact that he didn't want to expose his identity, Chen Shang could have used a relatively large magic method furnace to refine it, which was much more convenient than his current state. The cover was useless to him because he could conjure a transparent cover and cover it with it. This way, the medicine aura would not be lost. This time, he would still absorb immortal energy and enter. Using the heavenly alchemy, he turned the immortal energy into a raging fire and assimilated it into his heaven fire, causing the flames to become even stronger. Many alchemists were able to distinguish the degree of melting of the medicinal herbs from the clouds, and the rate at which the clouds were melting was also extremely fast, which meant that the melting speed was also very fast. This made it hard for people to believe that the 10 black iron-like roots were like paper, which melted in an instant. This was something that even Zhang Yanqing could not do. Zhang Yanqing had the sky fire, and he had previously tried to melt the tree roots. Although it could be melted, it would take a very long time. When the flame was burning these strange flowers and plants, the strange flowers and plants would instinctively release their powers to resist, preventing the flame from penetrating inside. When the flame was burning these strange flowers and plants, the strange flowers and plants would instinctively release their powers to prevent the flame from infiltrating inside of them. But right now, Chen Shang was directly igniting a fire inside these spirit herbs, and was burning it from the inside out. This was because he was able to enter the world inside these spirit herbs, conduct a profound exchange with them, and open the doors to these spirit medicines, which was why it was so easy for him to burn these medicinal herbs. However, currently, it was limited to Qi Shendan's medicinal ingredients. He did not know if this move would work on other medicinal ingredients, nor did he know what would happen when facing higher-ranked medicinal ingredients. Seeing Chen Shang using his strength once again, the pressure on Hu Feixiao and Hu Feixiao was extremely great, especially on Hu Feixiao. He loved to show his face, so if he lost, not only would he be laughed at, the legend of their Super Yuan Mountain's genius, alchemist, would also be broken. In a few moments, Chen Shang successfully refined the 10 sets of spirit herbs into 30 pellets. This made Zhang Yanqing's eyes turn red, and with Chen Zhang's high utilization rate, he could refine 30 pellets out of 10 pellets, but Zhang Yanqing needed 60 pellets to refine 30 pellets. After the 30 peak quality S were out, the flames inside the furnace had still not extinguished. After Chen Shang placed the Qi Shendan into the jade box, he actually hit the side of the pill furnace lightly and pierced a hole in the middle of the pill furnace. Seeing this scene, everyone started to shout frantically in their hearts, thinking that Chen Shang had gone crazy to actually damage his pill furnace at this time. Bang! Chen Shang then pierced through another hole in the middle of the other side of the pill furnace and then created another 2 holes on both sides of the furnace. Chen Zhang's actions made everyone puzzled, but Chen Shang quickly told them the answer. The flames inside the pill furnace were still burning. Although there were 4 holes, the flames inside the furnace did not leak out, only seeing that Chen Shang had quickly filled the holes at both sides of the pill furnace with profound fruit S and some supporting medicinal herbs. At the same time, he had also used a secret technique to quickly fill the holes at the bottom of the pill furnace with immortal energy. Although there were holes on the pill furnace, they were all sealed by Chen Shang. The light rays from the holes were burning the roots of the trees, while the dregs were shooting out from the mouth of the furnace and into the sky. It was truly a quick method. Everyone could see that this broken pill furnace seemed to have some sort of mysterious power. It was crazily devouring immortal energy to strengthen the flames, and the speed at which the elixirs melted was extremely fast. All of the impurities sprayed out from the top. After the spirit medicine in the furnace melted, it rushed to the top layer of the furnace and slowly condensed into a pill there. And at this time, Chen Shang once again poured the spirit medicine into the center layer. He actually wanted to continuously refine the pill. He really wanted to know what kind of evil power Chen Shang used to be able to defy the heavens. This was the first time he had seen this kind of pill refinement technique, and he had never even heard of it before. Hu Feixiao's current gaze could kill. His face was full of jealousy and anger. This was purely because of his own mental state. He could not bear to see others in such a state. He was strong, but in the sacred Dan realm, the alchemist was the king, and Fan Yakan's pill refining skills were much more profound than his. Even Lin Ziyi was much stronger than him. If not for the fact that Fan Yakan was injured, her strength would also have already far surpassed his. And now, in Fan Yakan's and Lin Shi's shop, there was actually such a heaven-shocking and heavenly-looking alchemist. Even Hu Feixiao had to admire his pill-refining skills. The biggest drawback of using heavenly alchemy to convert immortal energy into fire was that it consumed a lot of divine power. Furthermore, the fire was not his own, so he needed more control over it, so using it for a short period of time wouldn't be a problem. Although Chen Zhang's furnace was full of big holes, there was not a single bit of qi leaking out from within. The entire furnace was extremely smooth, which was truly amazing. Chapter 1065. The fire within the pill furnace was intense, and from the holes, one could see the raging fire inside, while the surrounding immortal qi was still pouring into Chen Zhang's pill furnace. Chen Shang knew that his own divine power wouldn't last long. If he kept at it for too long, a large amount of his divine power would be consumed. Given his current situation, he needed to maintain about half of the power in his body in order for him to be able to avoid danger. Come in. Chen Shang waved his hand and grabbed towards the pile of spirit herbs, then a huge hand formed from white mist appeared in the air and grabbed all the spirit herbs used to refine Qi Shendan, and moved them all to his furnace. Then, he began to crazily stuff the spirit medicine into the furnace and at the same time, seeped his divine power into the inside of the spirit herbs, allowing the flames to burn outwards from the inside. The spiritual herbs that had just entered the pill furnace quickly turned into mist, and rays of light filled the air. In the blink of an eye, Chen Shang had already stuffed dozens of sets of medicinal ingredients into the furnace, causing the medicine aura S to condense in the furnace, causing the light clouds to become even stronger. The light beams coming out from the holes in the pill furnace quickly weakened, because Chen Shang had already condensed the pill. However, the moment the pill was formed, the light beams were extremely bright and gushed out again. This way, Chen Shang could condense pills quickly and continuously. This method almost made many alchemists kneel. As long as it was an alchemist, there was no one who did not want to reach this level. Chen Zhang's pill refining skills were strong to begin with, and he had an extraordinary talent. Now that he had cultivated the heavenly alchemy, he had once refined countless mountains and vast lands into pills. Of course, this was also his peak level of alchemy. If he was asked to refine a high-grade ground-level pill, he would probably not be able to do so. But he also planned to try it again when he had the time, and use the method to refine a qi shendan. Many people were jealous and envious. Even though it was clearly an abandoned elixir, it was still able to concoct such a pill and refine it so quickly. This made many alchemists upset about the abandoned elixirs that they lost back then. In just 2 hours, Chen Shang had refined all of the abandoned profoundie fruit. There were 400 of them in total, and all of them were successful. I must buy one of these qi shendan. Who knows, this person might become a pill saint in the future. I have to buy them too. It looks like he's going to win, all these qi shendan will go to him. Who can calculate for me, how much is his qi shendan worth? Quote. What is he doing? A person suddenly shouted in alarm. Chen Shang came to Zhang Yanqing's side, and actually picked up Zhang Yanqing's medicine, and started to refine pills using his crazy method just now. There was a rule that stated that if the person who refined the first medicinal herb had more medicinal herbs, they could use it to refine the other party's medicinal herb. However, everyone felt that it would be better for Chen Shang, because Chen Shang gave more pills and the quality was better than Zhang Yanqing. This action was equivalent to fiercely stepping on the faces of Zhang Yanqing and Hu Feixiao, which made them extremely furious. Especially Hu Feixiao. He had wanted to attack Chen Shang multiple times, but he knew that if he did so, he would be mocked by the crowd in the future. Zhang Yanqing still had more than 300 pills that he had yet to refine, and they had all been refined by Chen Shang at his fastest speed. After another 2 hours, Chen Shang had used up more than half of his divine power and innate qi, but he had still managed to refine more than 2,000 qi shendan, causing the two's medicinal ingredients to be completely refined. Zhang Yanqing looked at his own few qi shendan-s, then looked at Chen Zhang's big basket of qi shendan-s, clenched his fists, and a wave of jealousy and hatred rose in his heart. He was the future pill saint of the great sacred Dan realm, the #1 young alchemist, yet he had lost so miserably. The victor had already been decided long ago, so no one was surprised at this moment. You've lost, Fan Yakan said excitedly. For Chen Shang to be able to refine all those abandoned spirit herbs into 2,000 qi shendan, this level was something that no one in the entire sacred Dan realm could match. Zhang Yanqing angrily looked at Fan Yakan and, especially at Chen Zhang's calm expression, making him the most furious. He had defeated, but he was not happy at all, as if winning against him was something insignificant. He had never been looked down upon so much before. Hu Feixiao's eyes were filled with killing intent. He walked out of the sedan, and slightly frowned. I have never heard of your name before. Are you an alchemist, or was it that Fan Yakan had invited them today? Quote. Chen Shang said. I'm just a nameless junior. It's normal that you don't know me. I joined the Shiyi Pavilion 3 days ago. As long as you are an alchemist, you can accept the challenge on behalf of the Shiyi Pavilion. Quote. This doesn't count. You just arrived. Hu Feixiao's eyes flashed. Anyone could see the light of annihilation in his eyes. He was actually going to act shamelessly. Why doesn't it count? Fan Yakan was slightly angry. I admit that I have underestimated your Shiyi Pavilion. I originally thought that all of your alchemists were a bunch of unranked fellows. I didn't know that your Shiyi Pavilion had such an alchemist, otherwise I would have invited even better alchemists to compete with you. Hu Feixiao laughed complacently. So you're saying that you're asking Zhang Yanqing to challenge our group of unrated people, is that also telling us that Zhang Yanqing is unranked? Chen Shang sneered. I think that a few skilled alchemists would be able to tell that this is my first time refining a qi shendan, and at the very most, I can only refine a middle-grade ground-level pellet. According to what I know, this alchemist you invited can refine a heaven-level pellet. Zhang Yanqing was so angry that his teeth were about to shatter. Hu Feixiao's face froze as he gritted his teeth and said angrily, arrogant fellow, I'll smash your mouth to pieces today. While talking, Hu Feixiao's fists were like lightning. It was wrapped with a layer of terrifying golden mist. It looked to be a very powerful trap. On top of it were many sharp thorns. It looked extremely terrifying. Stronger than a fist. Chen Shang laughed inwardly, and without dodging at all, he actually punched out to receive it, and his aura was even more overbearing than Hu Feixiao's. Hu Feixiao suddenly attacking Chen Shang was already within many people's expectations. Previously, Hu Feixiao had done many of these things, but Fan Yakan had always been at such a disadvantage. When everyone saw the golden thorny fist, they thought that Chen Shang was done for, but after seeing Chen Zhang's fierce counterattack, they were all shocked. This seemingly weak alchemist, her strength was actually this strong. Bang! The two punches clashed, causing a loud sound to ring out. the ground trembled for a moment, then crackled with a crackling sound. Hu Feixiao's arm seemed to have some sort of explosion, the flesh and bones within cracked and shattered, and flesh flew everywhere. Ah! Hu Feixiao cried out miserably, as he cried out in pain, "It's the power of chaos! Who the hell are you? How do you know how to use the power of chaos?" Quote. Chapter 1066. The little bit of chaotic force that Chen Shang used was something that he had absorbed from Fan Yakan's body. Although it was only a little, after he mixed it with the dragon power, it unexpectedly had an unexpected effect and directly subdued this Hu Feixiao. The few experts who were protecting Hu Feixiao rushed forward, but were stopped by Hu Feixiao. "Let's go." Those who could use the power of primal chaos, definitely could not be trifled with. Although Hu Feixiao was rude and unreasonable, his grandfather had often reminded him so, especially when he met people with no known surname. How could Hu Feixiao forget about his previous pill-refining skills? The chaotic mountain was very big. Although it was very chaotic right now and the Super Yuan mountain was the strongest, there were still many experts in the chaotic mountain, especially some great alligators or Immortal. In the chaotic mountain, there were only a few people who were familiar with how to use the power of primal chaos. Therefore, even if Hu Feixiao suffered a huge loss, he could not continue on. Zhang Yanqing and Hu Feixiao were escorted by the elders, and before they left, Zhang Yanqing looked at Chen Shang with a gaze that made everyone's hearts tremble. The danger of the Shiyi pavilion had finally been resolved. Chen Shang gave Fan Yakan 1,000 Qi Shen Dan, and Fan Yakan did not want them for free. He gave Chen Shang a lot of medicinal ingredients and high-quality pills, such as those high-quality ground level S and 5 elements profound Dan S. After exiting the city, he rushed towards the Zilan mountain valley. Before he left, he also warned Fan Yakan and Lin Ziyi to be on their guard against Hu Feixiao, and to escape the moment things went wrong, even if there were mountains ahead of them. "These guys are really annoying, I knew it would be like this." Chen Shang did not change his appearance. Instead, he left the city the day he competed with Zhang Yanqing in pill refining, which was why he was followed. But Chen Shang did it on purpose. If he was to leave the city quietly, no one would notice him. Like he had expected, Zhang Yanqing and Hu Feixiao were here. He had disguised himself and followed behind the two old men. "It seems like they don't have any intention of plotting against you," Long Shui said. "Could it be that they wanted to confirm that you had left the Heaven Sacred City and then make their move against that young couple?" Bai Yuyu laughed coldly. "This is our chance to get rid of them and prevent future troubles." That was why he was able to change his appearance and lure all of them out. However, he felt that Hu Feixiao and the others must have followed him for some other reason. This Super Yuan mountain really does have some strength. The two old fellows that they sent out are not weak either, and should be able to match up to those Sage Realm experts. If you don't use magical corruption gas, you won't be able to kill them. Long Shui said. "They are indeed very strong. If I move further away from the Heaven Sacred City, would they attack me?" Although he had a different identity now, if he was discovered using the magical corruption gas, it would harm Fan Yakan and the others greatly. Chen Shang used Heaven Tour method, allowing his own spiritual will to transform into an invisible spirit body, and floated out, approaching and eavesdropping on the people following him. After leaving the Heaven Sacred City, Hu Feixiao and the others who were following him suddenly increased their speed and approached him. "This fellow is not from our chaotic mountain, he uses the power of chaos that he does not." Fortunately, the two elders were able to see through it, so we can act against him and force him to hand over that pill refining method. Hu Feixiao laughed sinisterly. "I have solved it, I'm not afraid of that brat Fan Yakan anymore. Lin Lian will be mine sooner or later. Then let me kill him with my own hands." Originally, his fame had plummeted when he lost to Chen Shang, which made him even more furious at Chen Shang. "You guys should move faster. Don't forget that we still have to go to the meeting. You, Great Elder Primordius, is waiting for us," an elder said indifferently. "Is that meeting important?" When grandfather sent the message back, his voice was very serious. Hu Feixiao said. "It's important, it's related to the treasures in Chaotic Mountain. You should know that a group of people suddenly came over from another world some time ago, and those people were strong and weak. All of the big shots in the different forces have a map," an elder said. "It is said that Chen Shang, who caused great losses to our Chaotic Mountain in the past, came over at that time, and killed many people of our Super Yuan Mountain. I heard that Du Yanyao from the Du family is his good friend." Hu Feixiao could not help but reveal a trace of jealousy on his face. but to think that he would fall in love with leader's grandson's eyes, this guy refused to back down in the slightest and insisted on snatching it away from me. After hearing their conversation, Chen Shang could immediately guess that the broken map was the piece of stone in his hands. The piece of stone was hidden by the ancestors of the Purple Moon Imperial Land, and now that one had fallen on his body, it meant that the ancient powers had obtained a complete map. Let's do it from the front, Hu Feixiao said. After Chen Shang heard this, he quickened his pace and entered a forest at the side. This made Hu Feixiao and the others anxious. Just as they were unable to see Chen Shang had activated the power of the spatial laws within his body, allowing himself to travel through space to stay away from Hu Feixiao and the others. However, the perception body he released before was still staring at Hu Feixiao and the others. Hu Feixiao had such a strong killing intent toward him, and he even planned to kill Fan Yakan and the others mercilessly. He's in the forest, there's traces of his aura here. He's on guard, it seems like we've been discovered, chase him. An elder said anxiously. This was an aura that Chen Shang had intentionally left behind, and it was something he had done to delay them. Little naughty dragon, hurry up and use the Heaven Tour method and use the fastest speed possible to go to Zilan Mountain Valley. Bai Xing was a starry sky white tiger race. After awakening the inheritance of her memories, she had become very strong. If she were to come here, even if she could not beat the two elders, but if she were to summon her stars, she would definitely be discovered by the white tiger. As long as the white tiger arrived, he had nothing to be afraid of. I wonder if the big white cat can sense it. Long Shui knew what Chen Shang was thinking, and muttered a few words before immediately following Chen Zhang's instructions. Her divine power was stronger than Chen Zhang's, and her Heaven Tour method was also much stronger than Chen Zhang's. An old man from the Super Yuan Mountain shouted at Chen Shang, "Don't run, we have no ill intentions towards you, we only want to invite a person like you to our Super Yuan Mountain as a guest, we will definitely treat you as an important guest. Even a fool wouldn't believe you." He continued to flee in all directions in the forest, trying to buy as much time as he could so that Long Shui could find Bai Xing. Chapter 1067. Moreover, they had chased him for so long. They could only occasionally catch a glimpse of Chen Zhang's shadow, which made them extremely impatient. Had just refined so many Qi Shendan that he could finally use one now to recover his innate Qi and divine power. Even if he were to eat one, he would be able to rely on the power of the spatial laws to travel through space and circle in the forest when facing powerful old fellows. They did not use their fastest speed because Hu Feixiao and Zhang Yanqing could not keep up with their speed. However, if they were to lose sight of Hu Feixiao and Zhang Yanqing, they would be worried that these two juniors would be set up again. Now that they were stuck in a dilemma, they definitely couldn't withdraw because their actions had already been discovered. If they couldn't take down this person in front of them, who knew what kind of revenge they would take? The two old men had lived for so long that they were able to see the origins of the person they were pursuing. Otherwise, they wouldn't have that supreme pill refining technique and chaotic force that even they couldn't cultivate. Chen Shang, Hu Feixiao and the rest of the four walked around the forest for more than an hour, causing the two old fellows to wish that they could destroy the forest, but they could not guarantee that they could kill Chen Shang. Their original goal was to capture Chen Shang alive and force him to reveal the secret manuals for refining pills, but they no longer had that thought, they only wanted to kill Chen Shang quickly. "Elder, why hasn't he left the forest? Is there a trick here?" Hu Feixiao said worriedly. He was already out of breath, and using all his strength, he and Zhang Yanqing could only barely keep up with the two elders. "No, he didn't know that we were following him. He only found out later that he was fighting against us in this forest because he wanted to find an opportunity to kill you too." The elder's words scared Hu Feixiao. "Why don't we go?" Hu Feixiao clenched his teeth, although he wanted to kill Chen Shang very much, but he suddenly felt that his life was in danger and could not help but feel afraid. He had lost an arm to Chen Shang, so he was very clear that the elder did not speak ill of him. His arm had also only recovered from the treatment of some precious medicine. Now that he saw that the person in front of him was so difficult to deal with that the two elders were unable to take him down, he felt scared. If this person doesn't die, then we will be in trouble in the future. He is currently fighting with us, and he did not use the fastest speed. Moreover, he has an extremely strong concealment ability. If we let him go today, then once you guys leave Super Yuan Mountain, it will be very troublesome. Su Yun said in a low voice. The elder said. The other elder nodded in agreement. This person is constantly maintaining his peak state. He's keeping an eye on the other two. Zhang Yanqing's face paled as he clenched his fists tightly and gritted his teeth. Clan Elder, does that mean that he's purposefully fighting with us because he wants to kill the two of us? That's right. However, you don't have to worry. As long as the two of you are by our side, it will be difficult for him to have a chance. Chen Shang was extremely calm, and he had the same thoughts as the other two elders. He must kill the 4 people who were chasing him, otherwise, Fan Yakan would be in deep trouble in the future. We got in contact with the little white cat. She just happened to leave the Zilan Mountain Valley. I have already used your voice to send a message to her. Long Shui said. Wait until she gets closer to here before we can talk to her. Chen Shang owed a debt of kindness to Bai Xing, allowing this lonely starry sky white tiger race to know that she was not the bane of beasts. She also knew that he was a strong race and that he had given her great power. The distance from here to Zilan Mountain Valley was quite far, but Bai Xing was from there, so of course she had her heaven-defying abilities. She turned into a shooting star and flew towards the forest at a high altitude. Chen Shang dragged this group of people for another hour, and at this time, Bai Xing had already entered the forest. When Chen Zhang's divine sense entered and saw Bai Xing, he immediately sent a sound transmission to her. Sister Bai Xing, quickly hide. Chen Shang, I never thought that you would get into so much trouble the moment you arrived at the sacred Dan realm. Rest assured, you have done us 4 sisters such a great favor, I will definitely not let anything happen to you. Bai Xing's clear and sweet voice came out. 4 sisters. He only remembered the 3 sisters Yan Zilan, Yun Zhu and Bai Xing. And Yan Yao, she's already one of us. Bai Xing replied with a chuckle, but there was a trace of a sigh in his laughter, because a major change had just occurred in Du family and Du Yanyao had also received a huge blow. After Bai Xing entered the forest, she immediately concealed herself. She knew that Chen Zhang's true strength wasn't very strong, but his potential was incomparably great. That day, when they thought that Chen Shang had died, they couldn't wait to kill Primordius. Now that they found out that Chen Shang was still alive and had created a big commotion, they were extremely happy. Currently, the people chasing me are Zhang Yanqing, Hu Feixiao and 2 elders from Super Yuan Mountain. I can take care of them, but those 2 elders are too troublesome. Chen Shang sent a sound transmission to Bai Xing, and Bai Xing slowly got closer to them. The Starry Sky White Tiger race was a branch of the White Tiger fighting race, and there must be a celestial slaying method in the inheritance of memories so that they could dominate the star domain. Back then, the White Tiger had also said that when he obtained the Heaven-Earth killing method, he would generously give it to the other powerful people to learn, allowing everyone to choose the most suitable sect to cultivate and pass on their legacy. Of course, at that time, the White Tiger was passed down to his friends, but later on, the descendants of his friends were all unfriendly towards the White Tiger fighting race, with many conflicts, and their strengths were equal. Is it really this little demon? This is the grandson of Primordius, and his talent is not bad. If we kill him, Primordius will definitely be very angry. Bai Xing's voice carried a mischievous smile. I'm not the one looking for trouble with him. He's the one looking for trouble with me. Chen Shang laughed. Sister Bai Xing, it's enough as long as you summon a small star down. As long as I distract the attention of the 2 old fellows and give me some time, I can kill off those 2 little fellows. Little star, is that it? Speaking of which, I've never used it before. According to my inherited memories, that move was very powerful. I was worried it would affect you. Bai Xing was a little worried. If it was to summon a normal giant star, it would have to be done every 500 years. Bai Xing had already summoned it once last time, but the little star that Chen Shang mentioned could be summoned frequently because that head was very small. But its power was not weak, it was a very powerful secret skill in the Starry Sky White Tiger race. No, don't worry about it. Chen Shang also knew the destructive power of the little star. He got quite a lot of information about the Starry Sky White Tiger race from the White Tiger. Chapter 1068. This was not Bai Xing's first time plotting against someone on his behalf. Last time at Heaven's Sacred City, she had summoned an extremely large star to hold back a group of strong warriors, allowing Chen Shang to successfully obtain those Chaos Fire tokens. I'm starting. Take note. Oh, little star, that was only the size of a person was emitting a red light, and fell down from the sky with a long red tail. That wave of extremely powerful star power was condensed inside the little star, and with an extremely fast speed, it rushed down, creating a terrifying pressure. In that moment, all the star power in the star domain was gathered together by a single force and then turned into a mass of fiery red energy, rushing towards that small star that was burning and falling at an even faster speed. When these two combined, the resulting shockwave was more than half of 18 layers. What is that? Under the rapid descent of the star attack, the two elders could clearly sense it. Hoo. The small star was not big, but it was very powerful. When it fell from the sky, the strong impact force broke a large part of the forest, and in the blink of an eye, the trees in the dense forest were all crushed into pieces of wood. Then, it was enveloped by a red light. The blood-red glow carried an extremely high temperature. It broke apart the wooden log and ignited a raging inferno, causing the earth to violently shake and crack. Be careful. He had already sensed that the thing that had landed was extremely terrifying, and now, it was already too late for them to escape. The two elders leapt up and released their vast power that was as vast as the sea. They punched out their strongest punch towards the falling, little star. The power in their punches was like a raging river as they surged forward with frightening power. Boom! The terrifying fists of the two Super Yuan Mountain elders smashed onto the small piece of meteorite. In that instant, a deafening explosion accompanied with a burst of water-like light that stirred up an incomparably berserk astral wind, swept across the entire piece of land, and the forest where Chen Shang and the rest were in, was even more severely damaged. There was some distance between this place and the Heaven Sacred City, but everyone in the Heaven Sacred City knew about it. Moreover, there were many powers near the Heaven Sacred City, so this kind of earth-shattering event had already alarmed many big shots. Are you okay? At that time, Bai Xing had already hidden high up in the sky. She looked down at the ground that was filled with hot air, and sent a sound transmission to Chen Shang through the divine sense Chen Shang left in her sea of consciousness. I'm fine. Chen Shang walked on this land that was filled with ruins, completely unharmed. This was because just now, he used the power of the spatial laws to travel to a space that was separated from this place and hid within. However, he had used up a lot of his energy, so he could only hide for a short period of time. The two elders of the Super Yuan Mountain were powerful as expected. Not only did they destroy that small star, they also managed to preserve Zhang Yanqing's and Hu Feixiao's lives. If not for them breaking that meteorite in time, then if it had hit the ground, the power would have been even stronger. But they were hurt. Hu Feixiao and Zhang Yanqing sat paralyzed beside the two clan elders, with blood flowing from their mouths. There was even a silver-white light barrier on their bodies that was used to protect them. Is this something that guy made? Hu Feixiao's face paled. He never thought that his opponent would be so powerful, to actually be able to injure two elders of the Super Yuan Mountain S. It shouldn't be, because he has already disappeared. It seems like he is a meteorite that came from beyond the heavens. An elder was also uncertain. However, he still chose to believe that this was the power of nature. Otherwise, it would be too terrifying. Zhang Yanqing heaved a sigh of relief and could not help but laugh. Haha, even the heavens do not like him. Good. Quote. Hu Feixiao also laughed out loud. There's nothing left of you, your soul is gone, your death was truly tragic, this is the result of going against me. Just as they were laughing, Chen Shang had traveled through space and arrived behind Hu Feixiao. The moment Chen Shang appeared, the scorching ground that had been destroyed by the meteorite was suddenly enveloped by a strong killing intent, causing gusts of fierce winds to blow between heaven and earth. Chen Zhang's killing god heart crazily throbbed. The killing god heart's thought of killing had turned the energy in his body into an extremely terrifying killing power. Combined with his god-slain method, he had an even more brutal strength. Humph! Chen Shang was like a god of death. The killing intent around his body was captivating. The white tiger glove on his fist was filled with killing intent, making him look like a god of slaughter. The two clan elders of the Super Yuan Mountain were so frightened by the killing intent that they retreated a few steps, but just as they reacted, Chen Zhang's fist that was filled with killing intent rushed towards the smiling Hu Feixiao. Bang! The fist directly went through the light barrier released by the Immortal robe, violently smashing on Hu Feixiao's nose, causing his entire face to cave into the ground. At the same time, the boundless killing intent rushed out from the fist and poured into Hu Feixiao's body, destroying his body and turning it into black qi. After the fist landed on Hu Feixiao, its power did not diminish at all but continued to sweep through him. It turned into a wave of energy which struck towards Zhang Yanqing and pierced through the silver light barrier before striking him in the chest, instantly killing him and turning him into a black mist. After killing two people, the terrifying murderous intent that had enveloped the world suddenly disappeared. In the past, Bai Xing was so shocked that she couldn't even speak, making her suspect that Chen Shang was the battle god's reincarnation. Right now, she was sure that Chen Shang was extremely familiar with their battle god's ancestor, the White Tiger. When the White Tiger killed people at the auction, it killed them in a single blow, turning their bodies and souls into black mist. Although the two of them were injured, they were still very powerful, and one of them punched over. The oppressive force caused Chen Shang to be apprehensive. He anxiously stepped onto the shrinking step to dodge, and at the same time, the place had already turned into a huge pit, the space had already collapsed, and was self-repairing itself. What happened? The voice in the air was like a thunderclap, full of an oppressive aura. It's Primordius. Chen Shang was shocked, the space in the sky started to collapse, and a person walked out. This Primordius strength has increased by a large amount. Chen Shang realized that this Primordius was much stronger than before. Grand Elder, your grandson was killed by this person. An elder said angrily. Chapter 1069. He wore a snow-white robe, and upon hearing those words, his face suddenly changed. He looked terrifying, and an imposing manner surged out from his body. His robe fluttered wildly, causing the earth to tremble violently as cracks appeared on it. His eyes were bloodshot, and anger and killing intent immediately enveloped the area. Slash. Capture him. We can't let him die too easily. I'll torture him for 10,000 years. The angry roar of Primordius was like that of a beast that had lost its mind. Bai Xing had no choice but to take action at this moment. She had previously summoned that little star and consumed a lot of her power, but both she and Chen Shang did not expect that the mixed element would suddenly appear. Hurry up, leave this to me. Bai Xing sent a sound transmission to Chen Shang, transforming into a white light that swooped down. He waved his hand at the two elders who were rushing towards Chen Shang. The two energy stars filled with a dense killing intent struck the two elders' bodies, causing them to vomit blood. Aren't you from Zealand Mountain Valley? I never thought that your Zealand Mountain Valley would actually kill my grandson. Both of Primordius's eyes were completely red. With a whoosh, he arrived beside Bai Xing and punched out like a violent thunderbolt towards Bai Xing. Looking at the terrifying force coming at her, Bai Xing was unable to dodge at all. Her body was actually locked on by a kind of power. She lowered her head and saw that her body was surrounded by a bloody red light. When the punch was about to destroy her, in a flash, she actually escaped from the shackles of the red light. He was also shocked, because what suddenly appeared in front of his fist was actually a large broken rock. Chen Shang felt a splitting headache. He had just used form displacement shadow to exchange for a rock. This consumption was too huge, because Bai Xing was very strong. When Bai Xing was condensing his energy to resist the outside world, he used this technique with difficulty, but he was still able to do it. Catch that brat, don't kill him. I said I would never let him die too easily. He then rushed towards Bai Xing. The two injured elders immediately threw themselves at Chen Shang. They had suffered heavy injuries one after another, and it was extremely difficult for them to deal with Bai Xing, but to deal with Chen Shang, they felt that it was still okay. At this time, they could see through Chen Zhang's strength. If Chen Shang was strong, they wouldn't have been able to dodge them. Bai Xing had not recovered yet, but facing Primordius, she basically did not have the strength to fight back. Chen Shang felt that he had brought Bai Xing into this mess and must not let her be injured. He said to Long Shuiyi, "Lend me your god power." Then, he stepped on the shrinking step, dodging the attacks of the two Super Yuan Mountain Elders. After obtaining Long Shuiyi's divine power, Chen Shang immediately used form displacement shadow to help him once again avoid the overwhelming attack of the Primordius. Sister Bai Xing, I'm sorry for putting you in such danger. Chen Shang held Bai Xing's hand, and directly brought her through the dimension. It's all right. Bai Xing did not blame Chen Shang in the slightest. She had already treated Chen Shang as a good friend. When Primordius saw that Chen Shang and Bai Xing wanted to escape, he roared and the sky darkened immediately, lightning flashed and thunder roared. However, Chen Shang suddenly realized that he was unable to travel through space, and the space was actually sealed by Primordius with his powerful strength. Don't even think about escaping from my palm. The voice of Primordius was deep and terrifying. His hair was in disarray as it fluttered about. Under the light of the lightning, his appearance was extremely terrifying. Guessed that Primordius was indeed very close to the strength that the Demon Master possessed. Chen Shang really wanted to use the Chaos Fire token, but he found out from Lin Ziyi that the Super Yuan Mountain was able to restrain the Chaos Fire token's attacks, so he did not dare to try it, in case he lost the opportunity. With one step, Primordius walked in front of Chen Shang and the others. Chen Zhang's and Bai Xing's body was enveloped by that red light and they were unable to move. Ha ha hey, I'll kill this woman first. I want to see your painful expression. Bai Xing clenched her teeth, but she could not do anything about it. The power of Primordius was just too strong, and she had used up a lot of energy, so when Primordius appeared, it was already a miracle that they could or could not do anything about it. Looking at Bai Xing's beautiful face, Primordius smiled sinisterly, I'll smash your face to pieces first. Boom. However, in the next moment, a gold light flashed, and Chen Shang also used form displacement shadow, allowing Bai Xing to exchange positions with him. At the same time, he released the profound WU diamond armor, and when the profound WU diamond armor's fist landed on his head, it released a strong resistance force, blocking the punch. Chen Shang was sent flying. At that time, he held onto Bai Xing's wrist tightly, and Bai Xing, who was locked in place, also flew with him. It's actually a profound WU diamond armor. Primordius was pushed back by that force. His face was full of shock and his eyes glowed with even more fervor. The two elders had not made a move yet. They did not dare to interfere, otherwise, this Primordius elder would not be so easily angered. Was a little surprised that this Yu Yuan actually recognized the profound WU diamond armor. There were a lot of people who knew about the four symbols divine weapons, but not many who knew what kind of people the four symbols divine weapons was. Chen Shang was severely injured, he felt that his body was about to melt, and the strong chaotic force of Primordius was still rampaging in his body. How are you? Bai Xing hurriedly helped Chen Shang up. She was surprised to see him clad in terrifying armor. He won't die. Chen Shang spat out a mouthful of blood and then tightly held onto Bai Xing's hand. He planned to use his last bit of strength to send Bai Xing away first and then talk after that. He had already planned to use all of his techniques to fight to the death with this Primordius. You guys go kill that woman. He suddenly felt that losing a grandson was nothing, because to let him meet this profound WU diamond armor, this was one of the four symbols divine weapons, a very powerful divine armor. The two clan elders rushed forward, holding sharp swords in their hands, and with immortal swords, they stabbed fiercely at Bai Xing. He felt that if the three of them worked together, they would definitely be able to take down the other party. Just as Chen Shang was about to use a secret technique to send Bai Xing away, a familiar aura suddenly appeared. At this moment, he heaved a sigh of relief. At the same time the three of them rushed over, the earth trembled. The power that confined the space suddenly broke, and a few beams of black light shot towards them. Who are you? His sinister old face was filled with surprise, but after the two elders of the Super Yuan Mountain were penetrated by the black light, their bodies suddenly turned pitch black, and gradually dimmed down. Law of Darkness. He took a few steps back and a black shadow appeared in front of Chen Shang and Chen Shang. Then, the black shadow slowly turned into an average-looking middle-aged man. Chen Shang kept his profound WU diamond armor and coughed out a few mouthfuls of blood, then said with a forced smile, Old ancestor, you're finally here. You little bastard, I will deal with you later. You actually brought this little girl here to mess around. However, he was still very happy to see the clansmen of the Starry Sky White Tiger race right now. Moreover, he could tell that Bai Xing was not an ordinary Starry Sky White Tiger race. The White Tiger wandered around the sacred Dan realm and knew that Chen Shang had stirred up a lot of trouble before, but now it was in a good mood. It was fortunate that he managed to make it in time, otherwise this rarely seen Starry Sky White Tiger race would have gone extinct. Who the hell are you? There's no benefit in opposing our Super Yuan Mountain. If you know what's good for you, then obediently leave. Primordius said. Chapter 1070. The White Tiger's face was filled with anger. The little white tiger from Starry Sky White Tiger race was almost killed, but the person in front of it was actually telling him to obediently leave. Didn't you hear? This is my Super Yuan Mountain's matter. If you don't want to go against my Super Yuan Mountain, hurry up and leave. He knew that this average-looking middle-aged man in front of him was very powerful, but he thought that he should have about the same level of strength as himself. If they were to fight, he felt that he could still defeat him. The white tiger frowned and looked at Chen Shang, then asked, what is the Super Yuan Mountain? I've only heard of Chaotic Mountain. Right, what kind of hatred do you have with him? Chen Shang said. Super Yuan Mountain is a power within the Chaotic Mountain. They want to rule over the entire Chaotic Mountain. This fellow's grandson and the elders from the Super Yuan Mountain wanted to kill me, but I was unable to defeat them. Chen Shang looked at Bai Xing and continued, I really didn't provoke them, and they are the ones who want to cause trouble for me. These kinds of people are used to being unreasonable and always cause trouble for others, it's not like you don't know that. Humph, you killed my grandson, so I'm going to kill you. It's only right and right. Primordius shouted coldly. Your grandson and the others wanted to kill me, so it's only right that I kill them to protect myself. Chen Shang sneered. You should have taken a fancy to my profound diamond armor. If I were to strip it off to you, I'm afraid that it doesn't matter how many of your grandchildren you die to. He glared as he threw a palm towards Chen Shang and Bai Xing, the power of chaos transforming into a gigantic palm print that rushed towards Chen Shang and the others. The white tiger waved its hand and released a black light, covering the huge palm print. The palm print gradually dimmed, then it disappeared. The power of the law of darkness was indeed very strange, it made Primordius angry. I only ask you, do you have to kill them? The white tiger asked. Bai Xing looked at the white tiger's back. She didn't know why, but the person in front of her had a sense of familiarity, but there was a kind of majesty about him, causing her to feel reverent. She looked at Chen Shang and heaved a sigh of relief when she realized that his injuries were not serious. That's right, we must kill him. But it seems like I can only kill you now. Quote. His eyes were sharp and filled with killing intent as he looked at the white tiger. That killing intent was indeed very frightening, but the one standing in front of him right now was a true god of killers, only, he had obtained the profound bead of the law of darkness and was using the power of the law of darkness to attack and at the same time, conceal his identity. Roar! Primordius roared in rage. A silver light burst out from his body and flew towards the white tiger like a silver arrow. Then I can only kill you. The white tiger raised its hand and drew a circle in front of itself. Black gas immediately began to rise, and a jet black, heart-trembling black hole appeared in front of it. When Primordial You saw this, he hastily stopped. He also felt how terrifying that hole was, but he rushed over too quickly. He didn't expect that the white tiger's law of darkness could be used to such an extent, he already couldn't escape. After that, the black hole turned into a mass of black chi and dissipated. That black chi carried with it the unique aura of a god of death, which was his own power. Now that he was able to combine the law of darkness with his own killing power, although his cultivation level didn't increase, his strength had increased by a lot. You are who? Bai Xing's elegant face carried a trace of timidness, her head drooped slightly as she asked softly. She only felt that the person in front of her was related to her, and was also very strong. Chen Shang laughed. Sister Bai Xing, he is the white tiger. Bai Xing opened her mouth wide, suspecting that she had heard wrongly. She raised her head to look at the white tiger, who had a kind smile on his face as he nodded to her. There are members of my battle tribe in Sacred Dan Realm. I had told them to look for you before. Although they know where you are, they did not come to find you because they know that you have a better life. The white tiger stroked her head. Bai Xing was extremely nervous at this moment. She felt a little speechless and excited, because she knew that there was still a race in this world that had the same blood as her. The white tiger glared at Chen Shang. Little guy, did you ask her to come and help you intentionally so that you could lure me over to kill that guy just now? Unjustly accused, I did not expect that guy to appear. I really did intend to lure you out so that you could meet again. Chen Shang immediately denied it. Bai Xing also spoke up for Chen Shang. Patriarch, Chen Shang helped me a lot, don't blame him. This kid is just like this. Oh right, is there any places in your memories that your parents have been to before? Starry Sky White Tiger race has disappeared for so long, I want to know what happened to them in the end. The white tiger asked. Yes, but in the Heaven Realm's star domain A. Bai Xing had not finished speaking when the white tiger suddenly disappeared along with her. I will look for the traces of the Starry Sky White Tiger race with her and also go to the Star region to learn something on her behalf. So, you'd better behave for the time being. When the time comes, I won't be able to save you in time. Chen Zhang's mind resounded with the white tiger's sound transmission. Chen Shang moaned. This guy is actually worried that I'll bring Sister Bai Xing harm. Am I that kind of person? Quote. No matter how I look at you, you look like that kind of person. Su Meiyao chuckled. Chen Shang used his fastest speed to leave the place and rushed towards Zilan Mountain Valley. After getting punched just now, his injuries were not light, and his speed was much slower. In the midst of the beautiful forest, Chen Shang consumed a few pills to help himself recover faster. Primordius's fist had injected a lot of chaotic force into his body, but as long as he was able to suppress the chaotic force, it would be refined by him. That little girl is awake. Su Meiyao suddenly shouted. Hurry up and get her out of here, talk to her. Dongfang Jing had been taken good care of by Su Meiyao and the others and had changed into clean clothes. When Chen Shang let her out of the Yuyao ring, she opened her eyes in a daze. After seeing Chen Shang, Dongfang Jing's eyes became teary. She had not interacted with many people, but the majority of them were bad people. Although Chen Shang was also bad in her eyes, he was very good to her. Dongfang Jing hugged Chen Shang, leaned on Chen Zhang's chest, and cried softly. Chen Shang let out a light sigh, lightly patted her delicate back, and comforted her. Father told me that I'll be the only one left in the future. I want to be strong. Dongfang Jing sobbed. Even though she said that, her tears still couldn't stop sliding down her haggard and beautiful face, making people's hearts ache for her. Chen Shang laughed. And me, and your aunt, if you don't mind, I can be your brother, I will treat you as my own sister. HMPH, another sister. She definitely has bad intentions. Long Shui humped from inside the ring. Chapter 1071. Chen Shang was as innocent as a child. After crying and feeling sad, she fell asleep in Chen Zhang's arms. Chen Shang knew that in the future, Dongfang Jing would definitely grow up, and this world was extremely cruel. Although she had always wanted to stay at peace with the world, she had been forced to come into contact with the dangers of this world for many years. Let her stay in the Zilan Mountain Valley. It's rare to see a girl as pure as water like her. It's good that she's alive like this. Bai Yuyu could not help but exclaim. Even though she and Su Meiyao were both women, they had experienced a lot of things since they were young and became strong female rankers. Although they were not in contact with the outside world and could not bathe under the sunlight inside the ring, and it was also extremely cold and desolate, and they did not have any powerful strength right now, they had to admit that they had lived a relaxed life during this period of time. Dongfang Jing woke up after a few hours. She wasn't crying right now, only sadness in her eyes. But to a girl like her, she was already very strong, and was able to recover so quickly. Brother, this dress is really pretty. Dongfang Jing asked as she looked at her extremely beautiful white dress. Cough cough, I got my sisters to help you change this. At that time, you passed out, and you were wounded. Your entire body was covered with blood. Chen Shang blushed. He had peeked at her taking a bath back then, but he was very happy to have such a good girl. Dongfang Jing left Chen Zhang's embrace and walked to the side of a small stream. Using her tender and white hands, she used a small amount of water to wash her tear-stained jade face, then used her power to adjust her body, restoring a sliver of blood vitality to her innocent face. Although she looked the same as before, she had become much stronger. Chen Shang kept looking at her, and could not help but think of this innocent and cute little sister who looked like she was hacking away at that corpse crazily. This made him a little worried that Dongfang Jing would lose his way due to hatred and become a devil lady. However, he soon discovered that his worries were unnecessary. Big brother, don't worry about me. I will definitely take care of myself in the future, but you are the one who makes others worry. Dongfang Jing smiled, and seeing her smiling face, Chen Zhang's mood inexplicably became better. Dongfang Jing took the wet silk cloth and walked to Chen Zhang's side, gently helping him to insert the dust and sweat on his face. Brother, do you really want to know what happened to me? Dongfang Jing asked softly, then sat by his side with his head lowered. It was as if she had gone from a child to an adult overnight, and her mind had become more mature. Don't think too much. Live well. Chen Shang knew that something must have happened between Dongfang Jing and her father. Furthermore, Dongfang Jing's current strength was now extremely strong, because she had merged with the blood soul of the Dongfang family. Dongfang Jing nodded his head. Big brother, you're so powerful. You've encountered so many big things, and were once surrounded and attacked by so many strong people. Furthermore, you've been disgraced by many people and cursed at them. Chen Shang laughed, caressed her face and said, not at all, can I be your brother? Big brother, you have to be careful in Sacred Dan Realm. Daddy and I met a very terrifying guy, and that guy was he's dead. A flash of grief passed through Dongfang Jing's eyes. My father assimilated the clan's blood soul into my body, then, he blocked those powerful fellows. Give me some time to escape. I met the people from Purple Moon Imperial Land and Dongfang Lingyun on the way. Chen Shang pulled her closer, gently caressing her hair. He said, since it's all in the past, I'll let Big Brother handle those strong fellows. What are they like? Quote. They say they are from the Divine Devil cult. Because the blood soul of our Dongfang family is something that the divine devil cult cannot allow, they want to kill us. Dongfang Jing said. I will remember this name. Chen Shang patted her back, and said, I'll bring you to a place, I feel that it's very suitable for you. Dongfang Jing also knew that she couldn't always follow Chen Shang because Chen Shang had big plans to accomplish and she was too weak so she couldn't help at all. She would only be a burden to Chen Shang. Chen Zhang's injuries were more or less healed, there was no problem to bring him along on the road. Big brother, Leng Yulin is also your recognized sister, so does that mean she's my big sister? Dongfang Jing held Chen Zhang's arm and slowly walked to Zilan Mountain Valley with him. At this moment, she was much more cheerful. Of course, although your sister has a fiery temper and is quite overbearing, you will definitely treat her well. Hee, she is just like you, a little stupid. Chen Shang knew that Leng Yulin was just AB** starred, but he had more experience than Dongfang Jing. He was very experienced in battle, and when it came to killing, he was even more ruthless. When he was at Three Realms Talk, Dongfang Jing had also seen this eye-catching, white-haired, ice-cold beauty. She indeed did not look weak, and she couldn't help but want to see her elder sister. Of course, there was also Shui Shenxian, his sister-in-law. Little scoundrel, I've never seen you be so gentle to me before. Ha. Long Shui was extremely unhappy. Heavenly Dragon Supreme Lord, are you jealous? Chen Shang laughed. Who said I have never been gentle to you before? Last time I was very gentle to you. Quote. Long Shui let out a charming snort, and no longer paid any attention to Chen Shang. The last time she merged with Chen Zhang's divine soul, Chen Shang had indeed been very gentle to her. A lot of people had come to check the place where the battle with Primordius took place, but they could not find any clues. However, the matter of Primordius's disappearance had been linked together by someone. 5 days after the incident, Chen Shang and Dongfang Jing arrived at the entrance of the Zilan Mountain Valley. As soon as someone stepped into the Zilan Mountain Valley, the guardian immediately appeared, but she did not recognize Chen Shang. Yunzu wore a set of purple robes. You too, this is the Zilan Mountain Valley, are you looking for us valley masters? Yunju's voice was still as gentle as ever. Although she was a fire wolf, but she looked more like a sheep. Sister Yunzu, I am Chen Shang. Chen Shang stuck out his tongue. It's really you, Yunzu said in pleasant surprise, second sister said that you might come. I thought you came here 2 or 3 days ago. Who is this beautiful girl? Your wife, Yunzu giggled, causing Dongfang Jing's beautiful face to turn red. She is my recognized sister, let's talk after we enter. Chen Shang quickly explained. After Chen Shang let Dongfang Jing and Yunzu get to know each other, Chen Shang then sent a sound transmission to Yunzu, informing him of their tragic encounters before. This made Yunzu suddenly feel tender and affectionate towards Dongfang Jing, and he very willingly agreed to take good care of Dongfang Jing, because she was originally an orphan without any parents. Chapter 1072. After entering the valley, Chen Shang and Dongfang Jing immediately saw a noble and dignified purple-dressed lady, who was gracefully sitting on a stone stool, holding a book in her hands. She was engrossed in reading, her moon-like eyebrows slightly knitted together. Big sis, who are you looking for? Yunzu shouted. Yan Zilin immediately turned her head. Upon seeing Chen Shang, her beautiful face was filled with joy. Following that, like a light breeze, she carried an intoxicating fragrance, becoming stronger. You little fellow, I was worried about you back then. Although her tone was full of reproach, she was really happy. Back then, she had personally witnessed Chen Shang being beaten up into a bloody mist by Primordius. At this time, Dongfang Jing was also appreciating the beauty in front of him. Her smile and Arai smile were both extremely beautiful, although her aunt Dongfang Xinue was also an exceptional beauty, but this was the first time she had seen the Yan Zilin in front of her. Bai Xing came back a few days ago. She said that she wanted to leave for a period of time. By the way, why did you only ask her to go? Not call us, Yan Zilin reprimanded. If Sister Bai Xing were to use that kind of sneak attack, it would be better. Quote. Chen Shang did not tell Yan Zilin what happened that day because Bai Xing also did not say anything. The effects of the incident were simply too great. The great clan elder of the Super Yuan Mountain had been killed, and it was related to Bai Xing as well. Sneak attacks and the like. Big sis and third sis are very good at them too. Du Yanyao had tied his ponytail and was wearing soft armor. His face had a look of weariness, and a bright smile appeared on it. He was no longer the cold Du Yanyao from before. Her Du family had changed her greatly after all that had happened. Of the Zilan Mountain Valley's 4 sisters, Yan Zilan was the oldest, Bai Xing second, third, and fourth. However, Chen Shang knew that they would soon have a 5th sister. Dongfang Jing now knew why Chen Shang said that this place was suitable for her. She discovered that the women here were all extremely strong and they also had a lot of experiences. You were my fiancé. Back then, you ran away just like that. You really aren't worth it. Du Yanyao laughed. When she saw Dongfang Jing, she asked anxiously, so this is the wife that you mentioned earlier? Yan Zilan chuckled. This is my real wife, you're just a fake. This is my recognized sister, I saved her in time. You all are aware of my current situation, you can't take her with you. Chen Shang said. When the 3 girls heard about Dongfang Jing's experience and saw how innocent and beautiful he looked, their hearts filled with love for him. Especially Du Yanyao, she felt even more touched, but although he looked weak, his eyes revealed a strong light, causing the 3 girls to nod their heads secretly in their hearts. Jingjing, is there anyone else at home? Yun Zhu asked. There's also an aunt. She came here as well, but we were separated. Dongfang Jing looked at Chen Shang. There's still Big Brother. Chen Shang would never tell them that Dongfang Jing's aunt was one of his female slaves. Very quickly, Yan Zilan and the other 2 became very close to Dongfang Jing, and there was no place for Chen Shang to interrupt them. Seeing this scene, one thing in his heart was resolved. He found out from Fan Yakan that Yan Zilan was no longer helping the sacred dance school to manage business, and he couldn't help but want to take Yan Zilan, along with Bai Xing, Yun Zhu and Du Yanyao, to his dragon subduing school. Of course, he knew that Du Yanyao would not leave, because he did not know where Du Hai was right now. If he could find Du Hai and bring him to the dragon subduing school, Du Yanyao would also go there. Although there was temporarily no immortal chi there, that place would become DTN sooner or later. Lu Munger and the others did not come here, which made Chen Shang a little worried for them. In the current DTN's eyes, their powers were not considered weak, but they couldn't do it here. Yanyao, do you know where your grandfather will go? Chen Shang suddenly asked. Du Yanyao, who was chatting with Dongfang Jing, suddenly stopped smiling and shook his head. I don't know, he's always like this in the past. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't even know where he would be. But I feel that he should be inside the chaotic mountain. After the Super Yuan Mountain killed my father, he immediately went to the Super Yuan Mountain. It was said that a huge battle had erupted inside, and the people of the Super Yuan Mountain declared that my grandfather escaped after being heavily injured. Chen Shang was already very familiar with Du Yanyao now, but when she saw that Du Yanyao had changed a lot, especially his change in personality, she did not seem to be afraid of provoking him, and continued to ask, I want to know why Super Yuan Mountain was targeted by Super Yuan Mountain, is that alright? I'm fine. Du Yanyao knew that Chen Shang was capable. If Chen Shang wanted to ask about these things, it would mean that Chen Shang wanted to help her. Even if Chen Shang had not said it, she would have asked Chen Shang to help her. Super Yuan Mountain initially wanted our Du family to submit to them, but my grandfather was not willing. After that, the Super Yuan Mountain secretly attacked us. But when my grandfather went to the Super Yuan Mountain, some elders of my Du family took charge of the entire Du family. Du Yanyao clenched her jade fists and said. Chen Shang guessed that the same thing had happened to the Fan family, but it seemed that the Fan family had not pledged his allegiance to him yet. Why is the Fan family still fine? I told you about Fan Yakan and Lin Zai, although the families backing them are all suppressed, they don't seem to be in control. Chen Shang asked. Because they already got what they wanted from Fan family and the Lin family. A group of experts from the Lin clan and the Fan family were all killed, there was nothing to be worried about. Even though the evil creatures of Du family sold the entire Du family, the Super Yuan Mountain still could not get it, because it was in my grandfather's hands. Quote. Now, Dongfang Jing also knew that Du Yanyao had suffered the same fate as her. Seeing Du Yanyao's face filled with anger, she held Du Yanyao's jade hands and Du Yanyao also smiled at her. Chen Shang took a deep breath. It looks like you're in a lot of trouble right now. That thing is in your grandfather's hands, and your grandfather's whereabouts are unknown. They will definitely come back to find you. That son of the Super Yuan Mountain kept on yelling that he wanted to forcefully marry Yanyao. She is your fiancé copyrightee, do you have the heart to watch? Yun Zhu laughed mischievously. When Dongfang Jing was chatting with these 3 women earlier, he knew that the relationship between Chen Shang and his wife was fake. Chen Shang also joked, this brat won't live for long. Who asked him to set his eyes on my fiancé? Du Yanyao scoffed, but when she thought back to the days when she was with Chen Shang, she couldn't help but sigh secretly. Back then, when she was infected with the spring poison, and was entangled with Chen Shang to purge the flames, this was the thing that she wanted to forget the most. However, it would often surface in her mind. Chapter 1073. After Chen Shang left the Zilan mountain valley, he rushed towards the chaotic mountain. Previously, the elder from the Super Yuan mountain had said that a meeting would be held inside to discuss the matters of the ancient powers coming to find treasures. Those ancient powers that came from DTN had a map of the great treasure of the chaotic mountain in their hands. The chaotic mountain was not just a mountain, but a remote place on the 18th floor of the sacred Dan realm. To enter, one would have to pass through a very dangerous forest. It was said that there was a dangerous place that separated the chaotic mountain from the outside world. There was a very strange mountain inside. It was said that it was a huge boulder that the mysterious primal chaos realm had dropped on the sacred Dan realm, so Chen Shang didn't know much about the chaotic mountain, but he knew how to go there. The chaotic mountain was equivalent to a small world, and inside there were a few families, cities and various forces. However, right now, the Super Yuan mountain was the strongest, so the strength of the Super Yuan mountain was definitely not weak. How are you going to find the treasure? You only have one map in your hand. Su Meiyao asked. She needed to know Chen Zhang's current plan. She did not want him to take the risk. The rest of the map fragments are in the hands of those ancient powers giants. It's not easy to get them. Bai Yuyu was the same as Su Meiyao. Right now, heading to Chaotic Mountain was extremely dangerous. Forget about the ancient powers that had gathered there, just the entire Chaotic Mountain would want to beat him up, because he had 7 Chaos Fire tokens with him. I'll go find those giants from the ancient factions. We've worked together before, and we've come to this place together. If the map fragment in my hand is very important to them, I think they'll definitely work together in a strange manner. Chen Shang knew that although the great leaders were all very strong, they were not as terrifying as that Primordius. Therefore, he was confident enough to escape into the hands of the great leaders of the ancient powers. To the sacred Dan realm, it was like a sacred mountain. Before, only a few people knew about it, but now, people in the chaotic mountain often wandered around, causing various legends about the chaotic mountain to spread, making many people yearn for it, but also fear it. For those who were weak, the chaotic mountain was a very mysterious and civilized place, they could only look up to it. But in the eyes of the experts, the chaotic mountain was merely a powerful world created by an ancient clan. In order to remove the veil on the chaotic mountain, many of the experts took the risk of going through a dangerous place and entering the chaotic mountain. On the way, he also met some people who were traveling together, and all of them were going to enter the chaotic mountain. It was said that there were people at the level of pill saints in the legends, and the alchemy Dao inside was extremely flourishing, thinking that there should be a lot of precious spirit medicines inside. Chen Shang knew a little more than these people, and the legend was not wrong, because Dan Immortal Duhai had stayed inside for a period of time. Is this the legendary forest? Blood Devil Forest. After Chen Shang passed through a canyon, he saw a huge red tree in front of him. The pitch-black tree trunk was thick and straight, and was about 200 feet tall. The leaves were blood red in color. The strangest thing was that these leaves were shaped like human faces. There were a lot of these trees, extending on both sides like a wall, isolating the chaotic mountain from the outside world. What danger is there in this forest? It's not high, and there's no mountain, so wouldn't it be fine to just fly over? A person in the distance disapproved and was about to jump up when he was pulled down by an old man. Brat, listen up. Legend has it that these leaves have absorbed too much blood and have turned blood red. Blood Devil Forest being called a dangerous place is not just because he deserves his reputation. If you want to fly over, wait for something to swallow you up. Quote. The old man's words didn't scare the young man. I don't believe that if I fly higher, what can I do? The young man glared at the old man. You're afraid of death, I'm not afraid. Initially, I thought that joining your team would allow us to get to Chaotic Mountain as soon as possible. I never thought that you guys would actually plan to stay outside of the forest for a few days to observe. Quote. This young man was extremely stubborn. Even though some of the people beside him were trying to persuade him, they were all the same. Moreover, they were all scolding him. Chen Shang also wanted to fly over when he saw this bunch of Blood Devil Forest, but on the way here, he heard that the high altitude of the Blood Devil Forest was extremely strange. No matter how high they flew, they would be pushed down by a wave of energy. A bunch of cowards. The young man was like an arrow that had left the bow as he flew high into the sky, flying at an extremely fast speed through the air above the Blood Devil Forest. Soon, everyone could only see a dot. However, at this time, a red object suddenly shot out from the red forest and struck the young man's body. From afar, it looked like a beam of red light. After the red light disappeared, the young man also disappeared. The crowd remained silent for a long time and felt a sense of regret because the young man's strength was not bad, but he was too arrogant. Can you see what that is? Chen Shang had just used Heaven Tour method, and just as he entered the air above Blood Devil Forest, the young man disappeared. A long tongue, Long Shui said. This thing is very powerful, you can try it, but it's still very dangerous. Tongue, is there such a long and huge stone? Chen Shang suspected that Long Shui was mistaken. The world is big and full of wonders. That tongue just now should have belonged to a vicious beast. There might be many of these vicious beasts within it, so flying over from the sky would be disastrous for them. Explore the road, prepare to set off. Chen Shang couldn't wait too long. What are you afraid of? With such a powerful thing, a shrinking step, and the fusion of spatial rule spiritual bead, you are the best at escaping. Long Shui yawned. I want to sleep now. No matter how Chen Shang called her, she just did not respond. Chen Shang had no choice but to do it himself. Using the Heaven Tour method, he went into the Blood Devil Forest to have a look. The inside of the Blood Devil Forest was completely different from what he had imagined. He had heard that a lot of people had died inside, but there were no corpses inside, and it looked extremely beautiful, as if they were in a maple forest. There were quite a lot of people outside Blood Devil Forest at the moment, and when they looked around, they could see many tents. Chen Shang had mentioned to them before that if they waited patiently for the forest to turn green, it would be safer. However, Chen Shang did not know how long he would have to wait. He did not have that time right now, so he entered the Blood Devil Forest alone. This made another group of people incomparably shocked, because a youth who did not listen to the advice previously had already died inside. Chapter 1074. Upon stepping into the Blood Devil Forest, Chen Shang immediately sensed that there was a very powerful ferocious beast hidden inside. This ferocious beast's heartbeat was erratic, causing the earth to tremble very weakly, and Chen Shang almost did not feel it. That guy should be hiding deep underground. Chen Shang stepped on the shrinking step, and nimbly shuttled through the forest. At the moment, he did not encounter any danger, but he felt that danger was slowly approaching. Down there, Chen Zhang's body trembled as he used the power of the spatial laws to allow his body to travel through space and leave his original position. After avoiding it, he turned around and saw a very large red tongue. This tongue was definitely able to roll up an elephant. His tongue was covered in blood and emitted waves of heat, as if he had just eaten someone. When the giant tongue's attack hit nothing, it immediately retreated back to the ground. Chen Shang looked at the ground, and actually did not find any hole, so how did the tongue come out? Chen Shang suddenly sensed that there was something underground. This time, he did not travel through space, but immediately stepped on the shrinking step and teleported. At the same time he quickly summoned the green dragon demon slain broadsword, and slashed in that direction with his blade, releasing a green circular blade chi, chopping right at the tongue that just extended out. However, this tongue was strange and hadn't been cut off. It only vibrated slightly and sent out a wave of blood mist that abruptly retracted back into the ground. Chen Shang was startled for a moment, and then he quickly teleported away. The moment he left, 10 of these tongues shot over from all directions. If not for him escaping fast, he might have been caught in the crossfire by now. Along the way, he had been pestered by this kind of thing. If he didn't have so many tricks up his sleeve, he would have been swept away long ago. He had tried to strike at the tree trunks with his powerful strength, but not only did the tree trunks not crack, they had not even moved a single inch. He released another flame to burn those red leaves, but he still did not ignite it, causing him to wonder if he had entered into a powerful illusion world. What the hell is this? Chen Shang relied on his ability to travel and was able to cross this kind of thing like a demon's tongue. Now, he understood why this place was so clean. Now, Chen Shang did not have much energy to concentrate on that weak heartbeat. If he thought of the tongue and that heartbeat, he would feel that there was an incomparably huge monster with countless terrifying tongues down there. There were no ferocious beasts in the Blood Devil Forest, nor were there any other beasts. Just this kind of terrifying tongue was enough to make this place dangerous. Chen Shang spent 2 days continuously shuttling through space. It was already night, and the moment he stepped out of the Blood Devil Forest, he breathed in fresh air, and at the same time, a very dense wave of immortal energy pounced on him. Even without him absorbing, it would enter his body, showing just how dense the immortal energy was. So this is the chaotic mountain. Chen Shang looked at the stars in the sky and noticed that the starlight here was even brighter than outside. This place seems to have gotten even taller. Long Shui said, if your previous heaven sacred city was at the 18th floor, then this place would at least be the 25th floor. Chen Shang took a deep breath. When he was passing through the Blood Devil Forest, due to the long journey, he did not realize it, but he felt that the gravity here was a little stronger. No wonder. Chen Shang looked at the huge mountains which were enveloped in starlight, and felt a sense of shock. He had seen the most of these mountains, the biggest one he had ever seen. A cloud floated over from the distance, but it was only in the middle of these mountains. From afar, it looked like one could pick out the stars from the mountains. It's so high, some of the mountains can't even be seen, Chen Shang exclaimed. A gentle breeze blew past, bringing with it a tinge of killing intent. Chen Zhang's gaze turned cold. He immediately stepped onto the shrinking step and rushed forward. The instant he left, hundreds of arrows were shot over. The arrows were extremely sharp and glittered with a cold light, yet they were able to pierce through metal plates. These archers were all first-rate archers, and the quality of the bows and arrows were also extremely high-quality magical equipment. There must be at least a few hundred people hiding in this area, maybe even more. Seems like they are waiting here for people to pass through the Blood Devil Forest, waiting to ambush them. Chen Shang was secretly furious. He had turned into a small insect and hid on the ground. Now that these people were so rude to him, he did not need to be lenient. This was a very short forest, it was very easy to hide in the dark night. Chen Shang had already used the Heaven Tour method to find the hiding place of these people. These people had all been through years of training, so they used this kind of method to attack. These people were all dressed in black, and one of them spoke up. Did we make a mistake? There's no one there. Quote, that's not right, there must be someone. He seems to have discovered it and dodged it, but there is no trace of them. Should we send someone to look for it? No need, that person's strength must be pretty good. We don't specialize in close combat, so they'll watch carefully and lock onto us as long as someone appears. No matter who he is, we'll kill him first. This guy is so powerful, even the leaves of the demon forest are red. If he could enter, would he be able to find us? What are you afraid of? The arrowheads of our arrows are infused with chaotic force. As long as he appears, our 3,000 hidden bows will definitely shoot him out of the hornet's nest. Didn't leader say that? Other than the leader and the great clan elder, there is no one in our Super Yuan mountain that can withstand our 3,000 hidden bows. That fellow is not as strong as our leader. Quote, oh right, I heard that Grand Elder has gone missing. Shishay, don't talk nonsense, don't bring up this matter again. Quote. These words were extremely clear to Chen Shang. He secretly sneered in his heart, it's fine if you provoke me, but it's still the Super Yuan mountain. Today, it's the end of your 3,000 hidden bows. If Chen Shang stayed in the chaotic mountain for a long time, he would know how terrifying these 3,000 hidden bows were. This was a famous thing in the chaotic mountain. They would normally not be here, but they had just received an order to be responsible for guarding this entrance to the chaotic mountain. Chen Shang released his spirit power, locking onto the hidden bows. He then took out the death-haunting arrow. He felt that the crossbow bolts released by the death-haunting arrow were much stronger than those guys. Chapter 1075, Hiding Behind a Rock. Chen Shang used his divine power to lock onto over 100 hidden bows, then quietly used the death-haunting arrows to face the people he had locked onto. Although they were all well hidden and hid behind a few things, they were clearly detected by Chen Shang using his vast divine power. These 3,000 hidden bows had all used their specially trained eyes to look at every blade of grass and every tree outside the Blood Devil Forest. If there was even the slightest movement, they would immediately discover it, so not long after Chen Shang walked out of the forest, he was shot with a large number of hidden arrows. You want to play dirty with me? I can be their ancestor now. Chen Shang locked onto over 100 heads of hidden bows, poured his energy into the death-haunting arrow and released an arrow. The black arrows shot out, immediately transforming into 100 tiny black arrows. According to Chen Zhang's will, the arrows shot towards the 100 over people, all of them aiming for their heads. Under the dark night, these black arrows could be said to be completely transparent. They were all made by Chen Shang using his own innate qi. A hubbub of noise came from the distance. The 100 hidden bows had all been killed. After the hidden arrows had pierced through their heads, they even caused a burst of air explosions. The corner of Chen Zhang's mouth rose slightly, because the 3,000 hidden bows were all panicking at this moment. They, who were known as the #1 assassination group in Super Yuan Mountain, had actually lost more than 100 people in an instant, and now, they had actually been assassinated in reverse. Could it be that person from before? A black-clothed man had just finished speaking when a bloody hole appeared on his forehead, and he died on the spot. All the black-clothed men beside him were the same. When they reached the end, the hidden arrows would explode from the inside, and all of them would die with their heads exploding. Another 300. Chen Shang took a deep breath and started to condense an even stronger innate chi on the death-haunting arrow. You want to play with me? You bastards are still too young. What's the most powerful hidden bow? Go to hell. Chen Shang laughed in his heart, and released another arrow. After this arrow was shot, it turned into more than 1,000 arrows, and the 1,000 heads that were locked onto by his divine power were instantly exploded. More than half of the 3,000 hidden bows died in less than a moment. For the hidden bow, even if they had seen a ghost, it was still not this strange. Now, they were all panicking. Someone had already started to run away. Just as many people were planning to retreat, Chen Zhang's last arrow shot out, killing the rest of the hidden bow, leaving only one behind, but the other person's chest was also pierced by Chen Zhang's black chi arrow. Not long after, there was only one person left who could make people tremble in fear. Seeing Chen Shang suddenly appearing in front of them, the remaining hidden bow knew that they had ambushed an incredible fellow. They blamed their leader and told them to ambush him here. He was the only one left, and from the looks of it, he was dead for sure. HMPH, kill me if you have the guts. Don't expect me to ask you anything. This dark bow was actually quite stubborn, but Chen Shang did not plan to get anything out of him, so he used his palm to slap him on the head, releasing the soul-absorbing devil spell to look for information that he needed from this person's memories. That person was extremely terrified. He never thought that he would have such an evil technique that could directly look through the memories in his mind. The people from the chaotic mountain are not as powerful as those ancient powers, they actually haven't tampered with your minds. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to do this. After Chen Shang obtained what he wanted to know, he killed this person with a single palm and then set them ablaze. Chen Shang gained some understanding of the chaotic mountain from that person's memories, and knew where the Super Yuan mountain was. It was still very far from here, and he also knew that the ancient powers were in the Super Yuan mountain, and they were even important guests. The city is built on top of these mountains. Chen Shang looked at a tall mountain in the distance as he stepped on his shrinking step and ran. Under the starlight, the mountain flashed with a faint purple light. According to the person's memory, the purple light was formed because the mountain was surrounded by purple mist. The purple immortal energy was rather good, which was why a city was built at the top of this mountain. Arriving at the foot of the mountain, Chen Shang saw a transmission array. There was even someone guarding it, and if he wanted to go to the top of the mountain as fast as possible, he could only use this transmission array. However, Chen Shang did not use the transmission array because he needed over 100 spiritual crystal. He did not have a lot of spiritual crystal, only about 1,000, and spar were not circulating in this place. In the future, we will need spiritual crystal to go to the immortal world. I wonder if there are any reserves of spiritual crystal here. I can take advantage of this to get more. Quote. Chen Shang knew that the spiritual crystal contained a lot of energy, and the immortal chi was much higher than the spirit chi in the spar, which would definitely help the deities in their cultivation. However, to the immortals, the spar did not have any help at all. Unless there was a lot of it, it would take a long time to absorb. This sacred Dan realm is a high-level world, and using spiritual crystal is a very normal thing. I wonder how good are the immortals here? Before this, Su Meiyao had always felt that the overall standards of the sacred Dan realm was a little lacking, but after coming to this chaotic mountain, she discovered that this was the only place that was more decent. Chen Shang immediately flew to the top of the mountain and arrived at a platform. Because this mountain was very big, there was a lot of land on the mountain peak. Outside the city gate, there was an old man with a head full of white hair and a messy expression. He was squatting there, his body covered in filth, and he lowered his head to look at the ground. Seeing this old man, Chen Shang was shocked. This man was Du Hai. If he was not familiar with Du Hai's aura, he would not have cared about believing that Dan Immortal would actually fall to such a state. Elder Du. Chen Shang anxiously used his spiritual sense to send a message to Du Hai. After Du Hai heard it, he suddenly raised his head to look at Chen Shang. His eyes were extremely bright, and did not match his current despondent look at all. Chen Shang, Du Hai asked. Well, how are you? Yan Yao is really worried for you. Chen Shang heaved a sigh of relief, because Du Hai was still alive. I'm fine, I'm just looking for a chance to take revenge. Du Hai knew that Chen Shang was someone to be trusted, and during this period of time, Chen Shang had become very famous. Kid, why have you come to this kind of place? It's dangerous here, don't you know? There are at least 5 old fellows in this city who are on par with me. Quote. Chapter 1076. Chen Shang only came to this city to use the transmission arrays inside, and was teleported to the city closest to the Super Yuan Mountain. I want to go to Super Yuan Mountain. I am not here to cause trouble, I am here to use the transmission array. Hearing that, Du Hai's eyes became round. Are you crazy? Are you really going to look for that leader? Even I am no match for that fellow. If I were to achieve a breakthrough, that would be even better. Quote. The leaders were indeed very strong, even Du Hai had said that. However, Chen Shang believed that the Super Yuan Mountain attached great importance to that treasure, otherwise, they would not have treated the people from the ancient powers as guests. I'm not going to look for that leader. There's a group of people that went there, I want to look for that group of people. Chen Shang also wanted to go take a look at the mysterious treasure deposit. The ancient powers had spent a lot of time and effort to come here just for the mysterious treasure deposit. When they came here, they had already said that they would find resources for the demon and devil realms. However, the demon and devil realms would definitely not be able to find them now, so when they return, there might even be a war. However, the ancient powers did not seem to care about this. Du Hai asked, are you talking about that group of people who want to bring them to search for treasures? Chen Shang looked at the guards at the city's gate and said, I came to Sacred Dan realm with them. This matter, it can't be that a cloth is so long, you won't be going to the city, right? I want to use the transmission array inside to go to the Super Yuan Mountain. Du Hai knew immediately that Chen Shang was going to go to the treasure deposit. Seeing that Chen Shang was so familiar with the chaotic mountain, he guessed that he must have made a lot of preparations. If you see Yan Yao, tell him that I'm fine. Also, don't let her marry that bastard's grandson. Don't worry. Chen Shang had already planned to kill the guy who wanted to marry Du Yan Yao. He felt that it wouldn't be a difficult matter as long as he didn't face that leader. It required a fee to enter the city, because there was a large formation in the city that specially gathered the purple immortal energy. Every day, it required many spiritual crystal to maintain it, so handing over the spiritual crystal in the city was a given. The immortal chi inside was extremely dense, but Chen Shang did not stay in the city for long, and immediately rushed towards the transmission array after entering the city. The city was at the edge of the chaotic mountain, and the Super Yuan Mountain was located near the center. From the memories he had gotten from the city, he knew that the Super Yuan Mountain was even bigger and taller than this mountain, and the mountain they were in was equivalent to a Chen Martial continent. At the top of the mountain, there were even a few huge cities. When he came to the side of the transmission array, he realized that teleporting to the Super Yuan Mountain would require 100,000 spiritual crystal. This was extremely expensive for regular people, but in the eyes of the deities, it was indeed a piece of cake. I still have 10,000 top-grade spiritual crystal. I can exchange that for quite a few ordinary spiritual crystal. Chen Shang wandered around the city for more than an hour before finally finding a place to exchange for 150,000 ordinary spiritual crystal. If he was not in a hurry, he would definitely go peddle some medicinal pellets or something like that to earn more. Stepping out of the transmission array, Chen Shang and more than a dozen others followed. Through the transmission array, they arrived at a city on top of the 1,000 Yuan Mountain. At this time, the sky had already brightened, and the sun was rising behind a towering palace. That palace was the Tai Yuan Great Hall, which was also a place the Super Yuan Mountain S had opened to the outside world. At this time, the incomparably large mountain that Chen Shang was on was called 1,000 Yuan Mountain, and on top of the mountain was a mountain. That was the Super Yuan Mountain, and the Tai Yuan Great Hall was right below that mountain. You want to go as Chen Shang? This can be very dangerous. Bai Yu said. This was a world of such high level as the Heaven Realm, she was very clear on the strength of the experts there. Furthermore, Chen Shang did not have a single expert following him. Prince Imperial Dragon is also here. Long Shui suddenly said. Thinking about the Prince Imperial Dragon, Chen Shang couldn't help but clench his fists. Back then, the Prince Imperial Dragon brought people to kill him, putting him in a dangerous situation. However, he didn't let them off the hook. Chen Shang didn't expect them to actually come out of the immortal poisoning devil forest. However, there aren't many dragons around him anymore. There are only 4 of them. Even the Emperor Dragon guards that followed him down have all died. Long Shui gloated while laughing. The Prince Imperial Dragon had 2 Emperor Dragon guards, one of them had been exterminated by the White Tiger, and the other was obviously at Immortal Poisoning Devil Forest's place. Back then, Chen Shang had angered a very powerful poisonous beast. He did not know how that poisonous beast was doing either. "Leader, is it really you?" A voice suddenly came out from Chen Zhang's mind. It was Ji Meixian's voice. Chen Shang was walking on the streets, heading towards the Supreme Ocean Palace. He had originally planned to first try and use the master-servant contracts connection to find out where Ji Meixian was from, but he didn't expect to reap his rewards so quickly. Did not know what stage Ji Meixian had grown to now, but in short, Ji Meixian's special spirit sense was extremely strong, and she was a ranker who had been reborn, so she would definitely become an even stronger existence in the future. "Little maid, it's me." Chen Shang was extremely happy, at least he could now understand the situation of the ancient powers in detail. "Sigh, you still came." Ji Meixian sighed lightly. "Prince Imperial Dragon is here, and that guy has a very powerful black-faced big man by his side. Once that guy hears your name, he will be very excited, and say that he wanted to swallow you whole, as if he hated you to the bones. When did you offend such a powerful guy again?" Quote. Chen Shang pondered for a while, then said, "I have never provoked this guy before, tell me more about this guy's situation." Ji Meixian said, "He's here with the Prince Imperial Dragon, he's not someone from the Prince Imperial Dragon. Furthermore, he's on equal footing with the Super Yuan Mountain, he seems to have said that he lived in some immortal poisoning devil forest for a period of time." Chen Zhang's body suddenly trembled, he knew who the black-faced man was, it was very possible that he was the poisonous beast that he had angered before. That poisonous beast was cultivating inside the dragon's pearl of the poison dragon. Back then, Chen Shang was chased by Prince Imperial Dragon and the others, so he split the dragon pearl in one slash and woke up the poisonous beast inside. Then, he ran far away. Previously, he had planned to reveal his identity and go to the Tai Yuan Palace to talk with the big shots of the ancient powers about the treasure, but now that he found out that the poisonous beast had changed to its human form and allied with the Prince Imperial Dragon, he didn't dare do it even if he were beaten to death. Chen Shang said, "I know who that guy is. The world is so small, I never thought that I would meet him here." Quote. "Little maid, I found out that these traders are going to look for treasures. Tell me about it, this is the reason I'm here right now." Chapter 1077. Ji Meixian was very surprised, she did not think that Chen Shang would actually know about this matter, because this matter was extremely confidential. "How did you know?" This matter was extremely important to the ancient powers. It was said that it was the key that allowed them to dominate DTN. Prince Imperial Dragon knows about this as well. I feel that the reason why Prince Imperial Dragon was sent down here wasn't only for you, but also because of the many things that he needs to do. For example, right now, he is also going to that place with those ancient powers." Quote. Chen Shang felt that the situation wasn't good. With Prince Imperial Dragon here, he was very worried. Furthermore, if Prince Imperial Dragon was to go, the poisonous beast that came with him would definitely go as well. How are they doing now? Ji Meixian's position in the White Sea Imperial Land was very high, because her strength was rising quickly, she knew a lot of things. Right now, they are all searching for the fellows of the Purple Moon Imperial Land. These big shots of the ancient powers all have a piece of stone in their hands, which they only found after entering the Sacred Dan realm according to a map. Adding all of them together, there are a total of 30 big shots of the forces that have these stone pieces, which includes the Prince Imperial Dragon S and the Super Yuan Mountain S. Quote. What? Prince Imperial Dragon S and Super Yuan Mountain S can also do it? Chen Shang was very shocked. The treasure deposit was not as simple as he had imagined it to be. He felt that there would not be some kind of resource inside, but something even more powerful. They are all waiting for the people from the Purple Moon Imperial Land. As long as the Purple Moon Imperial Land arrives, we will be able to obtain 30 pieces, and they can set off immediately. Chen Shang did not plan to reveal his identity to find those people, but planned to use his identity as the Purple Moon Imperial Land, so he would immediately transform into Dongfang Lingyun. Dongfang Lingyun had not been in the Purple Moon Imperial Land for long, so even if he didn't know about some of the things that had happened in the Purple Moon Imperial Land, he could understand. Leader, I think it's best if you don't come. It's really dangerous for you. Every single powerhouse here wants to hack you into 8 pieces. Ji Meixian said. I understand. He decided not to tell Ji Meixian about the stone piece in his possession for the time being. When they arrived at the entrance of the Taiyuan Great Hall, an old man saw that he was dressed in the purple robes unique to Purple Moon Imperial Land, and immediately walked over and asked, "Are you from Purple Moon Imperial Land?" "That's right, I am Dongfang Lingyun," Chen Shang purposely said in a haughty tone. Dongfang Lingyun was usually like this. He had changed into Dongfang Lingyun's appearance, and had imitated his aura a lot, so he felt that Dongfang Lingyun would not be able to see through it. Long Shui had also said before that the most powerful part of this transformation was that even the Imperial Dragon race's dragons who knew how to transform wouldn't be able to see through it. "Please come with me." The old man was extremely polite as he led Chen Shang into the Taiyuan Great Hall. They arrived at a hall inside, where there was a transmission array. "This is the transmission array that is going to the peak of Super Yuan Mountain." The old man said one sentence and activated transmission array. In the blink of an eye, Chen Shang had already arrived at the summit of Super Yuan Mountain. There was another towering palace in front of him, and a faint purple mist was surrounding it, as the sunlight shone through the purple mist and onto the palace, making it appear even more majestic. "You must have just joined the Purple Moon Imperial Land. What about the others?" The one who spoke was the elder of the Gold Sun Sacred Realm. He was currently the leader of the Gold Sun Sacred Realm. Chen Shang recognized him, and currently, many people were rushing out of the hall. Chen Shang saw the familiar faces of Ji Meixian and Prince Imperial Dragon, as well as the black-faced burly man that Ji Meixian spoke of before. The others, all dead. Chen Shang sighed. "Did you get the stone?" the Jinyang leader asked. "Got it." Chen Shang did not take it out. He was worried that he would be killed by these big shots because he was a small fry. To activate the Purple Moon Imperial Land stone pieces, you need the innate chi unique to the Purple Moon Imperial Land. You just started training in it, and you can already use it. The Gold Sun leader was very concerned about this, because there were only a few people who came from the Purple Moon Imperial Land, but now there was only this little piece of information. Chen Zhang's heart suddenly jumped, and then he said indifferently, "All right." He then took out the purple stone piece, and poured the purple innate chi into it. The stone piece started to shine with a purple glow, which made everyone heave a sigh of relief, but they were very surprised that Dongfang Lingyun was able to do it. They knew that Dongfang Lingyun had only just entered the Purple Moon Imperial Land, and he had already grasped Purple Moon Imperial Land's Purple Moon innate chi. Chen Shang had killed a Purple Moon at Heaven Thunder Purgatory and took out the Purple Moon's Heaven Pellet. Now, he was secretly using the Purple Moon innate chi inside the pellet. Now he understood that not only did he need the stone pieces, he also needed someone who knew how to use the appropriate innate chi. He didn't need to worry that these people would kill him and steal the Purple Moon stone pieces. "How did the others die?" Leader Bai Hai asked. He was a hunchbacked old man. The others also wanted to know why only Dongfang Lingyun was able to survive. Chen Shang secretly looked down on them, and only now did these people remember how other people had died. After getting that piece of stone, we met a few people. These people claimed that they are from some divine devil cult, and said that they wanted to kill people like us. What? A golden light suddenly flashed, bringing with it a very dense aura of primal chaos, causing everyone to feel astonished. The person who suddenly flew out from the hall and grabbed onto Chen Zhang's lapel. Chen Shang was extremely shocked. The man in front of him was a handsome middle-aged man with a mustache. His strength was actually so powerful, even more powerful than Primordius. He was certain that the middle-aged man was Super Yuan Mountain's leader. "Where did the divine devil cult you just mentioned appear at? What do they look like?" Super Yuan sect leader stared into Chen Zhang's eyes and asked loudly. It could be seen that he was extremely concerned about this matter. Dongfang Jing and her father were being besieged by people who claimed that they were from the divine devil cult. Only Dongfang Jing was able to escape, so Chen Shang asked Yan Zilan and the other girls about the matters of the divine devil cult. That was why he was able to say it now. He wanted to see if anyone here knew about it, but he didn't expect such a big fish to burst out. Chen Shang told the Super Yuan sect leader everything he knew. Super Yuan sect leader released Chen Shang with a stern expression and spoke to the crowd. "Do you know what a divine devil cult is?" Most of the people here were great leaders from the heaven realm, and they all shook their heads. Prince Imperial Dragon frowned slightly and said, could it be that the guy established the sect with the fusion of the divine way and the devil way? He claimed to be the heavenly slave. Chapter 1078. Everyone had just heard from Chen Shang that those people from the divine devil cult seemed to have specially killed those with heaven-defying inheritances. For example, those from the Tong Tian aristocratic family. Heavenly slave, it's been a long time since I've heard this name. Super Yuan sect leader closed his eyes and took a deep breath. My royal father once said that the heavenly slave was only one person, but his strength is as strong as the 10 heavens supreme lord was back then. Prince Imperial Dragon's words shocked everyone. If this kind of person calls himself heavenly slave, then the reason he created this divine devil cult is to do things for the heavens. Specialize in killing those who go against the heavens. Quote, are we all going to suffer? Super Yuan sect leader didn't doubt Chen Zhang's words in the slightest. There weren't many people who knew about the existence of divine devil cult, but since Chen Shang was able to say it, it was likely that he had really met one. Humph, what bullsh**t heavenly slave, I'm not afraid of something that claims to be a servant. The black-faced man said. Three Horns Dragon King, what do you think about your current strength compared to Dragon Emperors? The Dragon Emperor he was talking about was naturally the father of the Dragon Emperor that was in charge of the Imperial Dragon race right now. Chen Shang was very surprised. The guy he released from the poisonous beast dragon orb was actually also a dragon. Now he knew why this dragon was with the Prince Imperial Dragon. You mean to say, the strength of the heavenly slave is the same as the Dragon Emperor? Three Horns Dragon King asked. That's right, everyone present were all panicking. If someone with the same strength as Dragon Emperor wanted to kill them, wouldn't that be like crushing an ant? Only the Prince Imperial Dragon was very calm, because the only power that could resist the heavenly slave was their Imperial Dragon race. Three Horns Dragon King did not say anything. He believed that he was very strong in this group of people, but compared to Dragon Emperor, he did not dare be so arrogant, otherwise he would have killed Prince Imperial Dragon long ago. We will rest for today, and start our journey tomorrow. The divine devil cult has appeared, let's move quickly. Super Yuan sect leader sent people to bring Chen Shang to rest, and after leaving the man place, Chen Shang secretly heaved a sigh of relief. He was not seen through. Once Chen Shang entered the room, he immediately laid on the bed to rest. He was extremely nervous just now. Little naughty dragon, do you know of that divine devil cult? When Chen Shang saw that the Prince Imperial Dragon knew, he felt that Long Shui should know too. I don't know. If I knew, I would have told you. I think that this divine devil cult came here from the heaven realm, and it has something to do with the DTN crack. In these hundreds of thousands of years, those great war between three realms were probably created by them. Long Shui's guess was also something that Chen Shang had thought of. Many things had been lost, and many people had fallen. This was the reason why many civilizations had been destroyed, and when civilization was at its peak, a single war was equivalent to the destruction of the world. Then what about Three Horns Dragon King? What kind of person with strength can be called the Dragon King? Chen Shang knew that this Three Horns Dragon King hated him to death. He definitely could not be captured by this guy. It should be an existence equivalent to an immortal king. It should be around the same strength as that Heaven Thunder Devil Lord. Long Shui said. So you mean you are one step away from becoming a Dragon Emperor? Chen Shang never thought that this guy would be so powerful. However, I am different. In the future, I will definitely become a Heavenly Dragon Supreme Lord, but first, I have to get rid of that annoying grandson. Long Shui said. Chen Shang felt that Long Shui's parents were definitely very strong, otherwise they wouldn't have given birth to this little abnormal dragon. At dawn, Chen Shang arrived at the main hall early. Everyone took out the stone pieces and formed a map. Chen Shang realized that the stone pieces were all of different sizes and colors, and there were some that were circular or triangular, but when all the stone pieces were combined, they could form a complete map. From the mouth of those big shots, Chen Shang found out that having a complete map was the first step. To get to that place, he still needed to activate the stone pieces and open the door to that place before he could finish his second step. He was representing the Purple Moon Imperial Land now, and he was also the weakest. If he reached that place, after he lost all his value, would he be killed by these people? Chen Shang knew very well what kind of crap these big shots of the ancient powers were. If it was treasures, it would be better to split them with one less person. After memorizing the map, everyone kept the stone pieces and started their journey. As Chen Shang was a small child, he could only walk at the back. In the eyes of this group of people, he was merely a tool to let them find the treasures. Although it was like this, Chen Shang knew that this group of people would definitely protect him. If he died, this group of people would not be able to think of obtaining anything from that place. The place we are going is the Chaotic Mountain? An old man asked. Yes, although we stayed in the Chaotic Mountain for a long time, we never knew where the Chaotic Mountain was. That was a huge boulder that came down from the primal chaos dimension, and we didn't know what our ancestors did in there or what powerful things they found there, which was why they hid the Chaotic Mountain. The Super Yuan sect leader said. Chen Shang was shocked in his heart. He's actually going to find the Chaotic Mountain, he should be on that map. Super Yuan sect leader brought along 3 elders and a young man. One of the elders was his son, and that young man was the one who wanted to forcefully marry Du Yanyao, the grandson of Super Yuan sect leader. There were many youths following them, but Super Yuan sect leader's grandson was a little dishonest at the beginning, wanting to hook up with Ji Meixian and the Qin family's heavenly daughter, Qin Yao. However, after being stared at by Super Yuan sect leader, he no longer dared to act rashly. In the past, Peach Blossom Imperial Land was not a traitor, so they did not come. Furthermore, there were many traitors in the past. Everyone split up and used the Super Yuan Mountain's transmission array to arrive at a forest. Chen Shang didn't know where he was right now, but he was sure he was still in the Chaotic Mountain because the immortal energy was different from other places. This forest is very dangerous. In the end, don't fly high into the sky, or else the vicious beasts below will find out. Super Yuan sect leader knew this place very well, and to find this Chaotic Mountain, they had to pass through this forest. What's there to be afraid of? Three Horns Dragon King disdainfully said. If there are any fierce beasts, I'll eat them. The fierce beasts here are no ordinary fierce beasts. We usually call them primal chaos beasts, and they are all fellows who can use the power of primal chaos. Some of them can even use fire of chaos. There are even some that can release super old poison. You should know that most of those super old poison came from the primal chaos realm. The Super Yuan sect leader said. Chen Shang had always been extremely curious about the primal chaos realm, but no one could tell him what kind of place it was. However, he did have one of the key things that led to the primal chaos realm, and that was the 7 chaos fire token S. Chapter 1079. Walking in this mountain forest with his enemies made Chen Shang feel weird, and at the same time, reminded him of the long-tongued monster in Blood Devil Forest. Leader, we have just received news that all 3,000 of our hidden bows have died. One of the clan elders standing beside Super Yuan sect leader said in a serious tone. Super Yuan sect leader frowned and stopped. He clenched his fists and said, send the message back, we must find out who did it and use all the power we have. I want to know who was so bold as to kill all of our hidden bows. Chen Shang snickered in his heart. He was extremely secretive at that time, and these people could not find out about it. Grandfather, could it be that old fellow from Du family? A young man asked. I'm not sure, but it's very possible that it's him. Not many people have that kind of strength. Furthermore, our great elder and the 2 elders have been missing for a long time. It is very possible that this is related to what happened outside Heaven's sacred city. Super Yuan sect leader snorted, and continued to lead the group on their journey. Many people could tell that this Super Yuan mountain had definitely suffered greatly. If not for the fact that they were looking for the chaotic mountain that had been missing for so many years, this Super Yuan sect leader would have personally investigate this matter. What no one knew was that the person who caused him, the Super Yuan mountain, to suffer such a huge loss was actually among them. All the big shots here had secretly greeted them, but they had already decided to kill Dongfang Lingyun. As long as they opened the door, they would immediately take action, and at that time, even Purple Moon Imperial Land would not know that it was them who did it. In order to allow this, Dongfang Lingyun, to safely reach that place, the crowd had to let him walk in the middle. Chen Shang was currently thinking what kind of expression this group of old fellows would have if they knew his true identity. After a long time, Chen Shang realized something strange. It was that some of the young people that came with him would sneakily glance at him. However, after they did, they no longer looked at him. Even Ji Meixian was the same. Chen Shang suspected that those big shots were already secretly sending messages to these juniors, instructing them to do something. It was very possible that they were targeting him. This bunch of fellows, are they really going to destroy the bridge after crossing the river? Damn it, you better not attack me. Chen Shang cursed in his heart. Not long after he left, These guys called out to him in secret, wanting to discuss how they would deal with him. Long Shui also saw it and said, "That Super Yuan sect leader is extremely familiar with this area, he has always taken the route of intentionally avoiding some powerful beasts in the primal chaos. How about this, let's use the heaven tour method, we can use the wind to find some of these beasts and lure them over, at any rate, when the time comes they will protect you." Hee, that's a good move. When the time comes, I will ask little maid to see what kind of order she received. Chen Shang secretly gave Long Shui a big thumbs up, then activated his heaven tour method to search for the nearby beasts that were hidden in the primal chaos. He also wanted to see what those beasts looked like. There weren't many beasts in the place, so the Super Yuan sect leader led the way to bypass the places where the beasts were frequent. However, Long Shui quickly found a group of beasts in the distance and used her divine power to enrage the leader of the group of beasts. "We'll be arriving soon, it's a pack of snow-white wolves. There's a very large one, and we can also use the power of chaos. Be careful later," Long Shui said somewhat excitedly. "I will pay attention." They were not small in size, and as they ran, they caused the ground to shake. They were not weak either, and from the power that Chen Shang could tell, the giant white wolves were stronger than any of the Nirvana realm beasts. "What's going on? There shouldn't be any chaos vicious beasts here." Super Yuan sect leader was very confused when he saw that a pack of wolves was rushing towards them. "Do you want to make a move? I can kill these guys myself," Three Horns Dragon King said. He really wanted to see how powerful these beasts were. Super Yuan sect leader said, "You and I will drag these fellows, and the rest quickly leave." "Faster!" Super Yuan sect leader bellowed and punched a white wolf that was pouncing towards him. The power of chaos flowed out from his fist and struck the white wolf's head. Woo woo a! The white giant wolf howled, and was sent flying, crashing into a stone mountain. It then flew out again, releasing waves of angry howls, its mouth spraying out a burst of chaotic force that turned into white light, flying straight towards Super Yuan sect leader. Super Yuan sect leader dodged aside. The strand of chaotic force drilled into the ground and exploded below. The earth trembled violently as a deep fissure appeared. Everyone's expressions changed. Although this Super Yuan sect leader was powerful, they could not kill that white wolf with a single punch. More than 10 white wolves were rushing over from behind as well. Seeing how powerful these beasts were, everyone immediately left the place. Three Horns Dragon King let out a roar and grabbed at a white wolf that was pouncing towards him, his palm suddenly turning black, turning into a dragon claw filled with black chi. The poisonous gas was deep. He originally thought that his sharp claws could pierce through the white wolf's chest, but he did not expect that he would only grab a handful of fur. Everyone had long since left, but Chen Shang and Long Shui were still paying attention to the beasts. Seeing how terrifying the attacks and defenses of the beasts were, they secretly decided that they would like to provoke more of these things. Why is he so powerful? If any one of them were to run out, the consequences would be unthinkable. Chen Shang exclaimed. These primal chaos beasts shouldn't be able to leave this range, otherwise their power will disappear. These primal chaos beasts must have been affected by some sort of power to have the power of chaos. Long Shui observed very carefully. She discovered that there was a limit to the chaotic beasts and their energy consumption was very fast, so these beasts could use the chaotic force to make their attacks stronger and at the same time, form a very strong defense. Super Yuan sect leader and Three Horns Dragon King were also very strong. After fighting with more than 10 of these terrifying huge wolves, other than being a little flustered, they did not have any injuries. Furthermore, those white huge wolves were also beaten up by them from time to time. Chen Shang swam to the side of a giant tree. Suddenly he saw a weak golden light and shouted, "I found a golden rhinoceros." "Then hurry and lure them over," Long Shui said excitedly. Chen Shang immediately used his god power to harass this golden rhinoceros, and very quickly, it angered this fellow that was as big as a small mountain, as it angrily followed Chen Zhang's god power into charging over. Chapter 1080, The Strongest People, Come Out and Block Them. Elder Hua, bring them to a safe place, quickly. The one who spoke was Super Yuan sect leader who was battling against the huge white wolves from afar. The crowd instantly turned into chaos. Many of the powerhouses did not want to face the terrifying rhinoceros, but there was nothing they could do. The weaker members of the younger generation followed the Super Yuan Mountain Elder Hua and ran in the same direction. "Little maid, it's me." Chen Shang suddenly transmitted his voice to Ji Meixian, causing Ji Meixian to be extremely surprised, but she did not know where Chen Shang was. "I didn't expect that you would still come. Before, Ji Meixian did not think that Chen Shang would come, but she did not think that he would actually follow secretly. Until now, she did not suspect that Chen Shang had mixed into the crowd, she only believed that Chen Shang had followed secretly. What's your next plan? I have observed you and found out that many of the homelands seem to have secretly given you youngsters some orders. Chen Shang asked. It's said that there is a big door that will let us kill Dongfang Lingyun once the gate is opened. First, it's us juniors making a move. If Dongfang Lingyun attacks again, the old guys will attack him together. Alright, Ji Meixian said. Because Dongfang Lingyun is here on behalf of the Purple Moon Imperial Land, they do not want Dongfang Lingyun to take away the things that the Purple Moon Imperial Land should have, but only Dongfang Lingyun is able to activate the stone pieces on the Purple Moon Imperial Land. Chen Shang secretly scolded the group of fellows. Fortunately, he had been careful enough to stay out of this mess. This was just as he had guessed. These people really wanted to kill him in the end. Ji Meixian did not know that her master was Dongfang Lingyun. A fierce battle had already broken out behind them, causing the whole forest to rumble. The earthquake never stopped, the beasts roared continuously. It was all because of Chen Shang and Chen Shang. Amongst the 100 or so people, the strongest were probably the Prince Imperial Dragon and the few dragons beside him, followed by the Elder Hua from the Super Yuan Mountain. This made Chen Zhang's killing intent rise, and his target was the grandson of the Super Yuan sect leader, but he did not have absolute confidence. The intense battle lasted for more than an hour, before Three Horns Dragon King and the big shots of the ancient forces were the first to return. Other than Three Horns Dragon King, they were all out of breath, and after that, Super Yuan sect leader also returned, allowing them to heave a sigh of relief. These beasts are very difficult to kill, they are invulnerable to swords and spears, and their impenetrable can only exhaust their power, allowing them to escape on their own. If the arrogant Three Horns Dragon King said that, then it could be seen how scary those beasts were. If not for these strong warriors, they would have died a long time ago. We need to leave this place as soon as possible. The beasts here are abnormal, and the path we're taking usually doesn't have any beasts. I've been here many times, but this time, there are so many of them. She was worried that Chen Shang would be found out by the Super Yuan sect leader, but in her heart, she admired Chen Shang a lot. He had actually followed them to this place in secret, and had not been discovered yet. Before, when Super Yuan sect leader thought that this road was absolutely safe, he decided to not worry about bringing these juniors over. But now, he regretted it a little. If some powerful things were to appear at the back, it would be very troublesome. He really wanted to send these juniors back immediately. But, if he went back, he might encounter even more chaos beasts. The Super Yuan sect leader and the Three Horns Dragon King should be the strongest ones here. When the Three Horns Dragon King and the Prince Imperial Dragon are together, the Prince Imperial Dragon will also have a share of the treasures here, and he will definitely take action. It seems that I need to concentrate. If I see anyone attacking me, I should use form displacement transposition to counter them. Chen Shang felt that this was the best way, because the speed of the Shadow Shake transformation was very fast. If he succeeded, he could even kill one more person. Chen Shang had also become more well-behaved. Both he and Long Shui had noticed that there were a lot of beasts in the vicinity of this place, so if they were to attract a single beast, then a large group of beasts would definitely charge in from all directions. At that time, even he would be in trouble. If this fellow did not lead the way, no matter how strong I am, it would be very difficult for me to pass through this area. This chaotic mountain is truly terrifying, Long Shui said. This was also the reason why Super Yuan sect leader did not fly in the sky. Furthermore, if one was in the air, it was very likely that they would be discovered by the beasts on the ground and be attacked from all sides. This was also the reason why Super Yuan sect leader was not flying in the air. They had been traveling quietly for more than 10 days, but they had not finished even half of the journey. They were only able to travel a little bit, and were still quite a distance away from their destination. The trees around us have changed. They're different now, Long Shui suddenly said. How is it different? Chen Shang asked. All the trees on the way were tall and dense, and the trees here were the same. He did not see any difference. You are still too tender after all. The roots of all the trees here are very long, and the ones that enter underground are emitting a very rich essence of nature. Didn't you fuse with Kaomu Heavenly Dan before? Feel it and take a look, Long Shui said. Chen Shang released his god power and penetrated deep into the ground. As expected, he could clearly feel the rich wood energy slowly flowing towards a certain direction, as if something was absorbing the wood energy. Good stuff. Chen Shang was immediately sure that there were usually some very high-grade medicinal ingredients in this kind of situation. Chen Shang continued to use his divine power to track the direction of the essence, searching for the end of it. Found it. Chen Shang immediately locked onto a stalk of green grass under a big tree. It looked like this grass was not anything special, but the vitality of the surrounding trees were all devoured by this grass at an extremely fast speed. It should be something similar to the Kaomu Heavenly Dan. Chen Shang could see that this was not a pill that could be refined, so he immediately went forward and ran towards the tree, and everyone stared at him. Someone wanted to shout at him to follow the group obediently, but he suddenly bent down to pick a small blade of grass. At this moment, a shocking scene appeared. Seeing this spiritual herb, everyone's first reaction was, this was definitely not an ordinary thing. Even though the bead grass was running really fast, Chen Shang chased after it, grabbed it, and stuffed it into his mouth. Seeing this, everyone cursed in their hearts. Such a good thing was actually eaten by him just like that. Many of the big heads wished that they could cut open Chen Zhang's stomach and take out the mysterious grass.